Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. Echo, 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 echo. Me and the Boko family here, and Gilgamesh. Has to be a Gilgamesh. Echo, echo. Whoops, I have my own page up. Ah. Me and the There we go. Sorry. So normally I always leave my own page up just so I can look at it and see, make sure I'm live. In case you're wondering why that happens. But normally I have Twitch muted, because I never watch Twitch. Well, I shouldn't say never, but I very rarely watch Twitch. But I've been watching Twitch for the last several days non-stop because of E3, so that's why the audio's been on the last couple of times. Final Fantasy V, then. How you guys doing? I know Illyri has already finished 4-Job Fiesta for the year. Grats, by the way. I saw the picture on the forum. Very impressive that you managed to pull that off. I've already got my first job. You can see it up there in kind of the middle top. Now, I kind of want to talk about this because, as you'll see, my first job is Samurai. So I'm doing a slightly different variant this year, and I wanted to tell you guys the variant I'm doing this year. So I'm doing the... Each person has a specific job assigned to them, and until I get that job for that person unlocked, I have to go freelance on everyone else. This means Samurai, which is a Earth job, means that Bartz is going to be a freelancer until I'm basically done with World 1. For those curious, yes, I do have Berserker Risk on. So we'll see how this works out. Plus side, I got Samurai, so that's nice. So that's the type of run I'm doing this year. Ugh. Yes, yeah, Samurai just... It's going to be weird talking about my Samurai with Samurai. Hey, by the way, hey, everyone. So, there's one other thing we're doing a little bit differently. Just a little bit. I decided that I want to torture all of you. So, it's time. It's time to begin the torture. You're probably thinking, what do you mean? What do you mean? Well, I've already decided what version of the game I'll be playing this year. Hang on. Because this version is so terrible, I actually have to do something in advance. I set this up last night to make sure that it works. In fact, I'm already at the shrine, the Wind Shrine. But I do have to set it up in advance because this version is so terrible. I decided to do a little research on it too. It turns out, believe it or not, so Square goes to another company for most of these PC ports, right? And that's been a good thing. For some reason, I swear someone at Square just hates Final Fantasy V. Let's examine, okay? First release of FF5, Japanese only, no one else got it. Second release of FF5, on the PlayStation 1, terrible, disgusting, abominable port. Bad translation, bad coding errors. They actually screwed up aspects of the actual underlying code because they ported it badly. And, of course, ridiculous load times, which is also an artifact of that same problem. So that's the second response. Because I like animation, Dakota. And because I hate you. Third problem is... no, hang on. Sorry, I'm rewind. Third release is this one. Or no, that's not true. Third release is the Game Boy Advance version. Now, the Game Boy Advance version was actually pretty good, except for the fact that, if you're paying attention, they redid several aspects of the combat code. I don't want to talk about that extensively, but as I've talked about before, the game speed is wonky. There's actually several bugs in it. Some of them are even beneficial bugs. But there's several bugs with the way the game plays. And, of course, there's the audio sound, which some people prefer and some people don't. But there's no denying that they basically dumbed down... I'm here for you, Sky. They dumbed down the audio for the GBA version. Whether you prefer it or not is up to you. And then we have this version. Now, this version, once again, was just kind of spit on. So here's what happened. I did a little behind-the-scenes research into this. Looks like I'm set up properly. Yeah. Okay, I did a little behind-the-scenes research on this one. So Normally, they'd go to another company and say, port our games to the phone and the PC, and that's what they did with several of them, most notably FF4, FF6, FF9, FF10. All of these have been ported by a third party. How's the audio, by the way? I need audio balance. This is pretty loud for me, but I need to know how loud it is for you. So they decided, no, we'll handle FF5. This is the worst port they've done to the PC version since FF7 and 8, which was also done by them, I feel like pointing out. I don't even have words to explain how badly done this was. Basically, I can turn it down a little bit then. There you go. How's that? So basically, they did some of the underlying work necessary to push this out. It's basically a port of the GBA version with a few different graphics and some underlying changes to the gameplay mechanics and the input and stuff like that. And then they just said, we're done, and walked away. Now, if you're paying attention, you're probably like, why is that such an issue? Well, that's the version they ported to the phone. Then the phone was very badly ported to the PC and basically has no support at all. There are actually people who have gone to Square Enix support saying, please help with issue this and issue this and issue this. I actually still have bookmarked a site listing critical game-breaking bugs in this version and ways to try and work around them, because Square themselves, on record, said they're not supporting this game anymore. I don't know why Square hates FF5. Yeah, the 6 port is better. Hey, hang on. There we go. Okay. Woo! So as you can see, I already pushed to this part of the game. Right. Yeah, exactly, Lex. It's bad. It's so bad. You know. So, what I'm demonstrating is one thing I really don't like about this version. I'm holding down A here, okay? You notice nothing's happening. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is that a big issue? It's not a big issue, but it is an issue. In most versions of FF, including going all the way back to FF4 on the SNES, you could hold down A for auto input. Because sometimes you just kind of want to auto-A. That's actually the reason that term exists. Can't do it in this version. So I can't hold down A, I have to mash. If you don't understand why mashing A 1,000 times is irritating, please do that for 30 hours and tell me how your thumbs feel afterwards. Like I said, Darkrai, they just didn't give a damn about this version. I don't know why. If you're asking about the why, I don't know. I really don't. How's that? So, I recommend the GBA version, Random Bystander. It is the closest thing to... It's the definitive version. It has some flaws, but it is still the best version we've got. And it's still definitely enjoyable. I guess I just answered Darkrai's question, too. So what is 4-Jump Fiesta? So, for those of you not aware, I have a video up about this, describing it on chat. But I'll talk about it now. It's not like I don't have a lot to talk about. After you get Ifrit and you finish going through the library, next thing you need to do is you need to get on the boat, which you should have at that point in time, and head to basically the southeast corner of the world map and go to Crescent Island, and then events will progress when you go through it. Anyways, so what is 4-Job Fiesta? For those of you not aware, FF5 has a class system. In other words, you get to pick your job. Whoops. And mostly the programming and the audio seemed. And the fact that the post-game stuff is nowhere near as good as it should be. Although FF6 GBA has that same problem. Excuse me, so, because I hate you, Bandit. Because I thought it would be funny to play what is arguably the second worst version of this game. If I wanted to really torture you guys, I'd play the PS1 version. But then I'd have to be tortured too. Oh, by the way, this version is also slower than every version except for the PS1 version. It's probably not noticeable if you're watching it right now, but trust me, I actually went literally straight from playing the GBA version to this version, and it was immediately apparent. The difference in speed, the way things are rendered, the load times, as you can call that, between transitions of areas, you know, everything, every single aspect of the game is slower. There we go. Hi, Zoan. So, 4-Job Fiesta, right? What is 4-Job Fiesta? There are classes in this game, and there is a challenge mode, which basically involves, rather than you picking and selecting and multi-classing and doing all the stuff you're supposed to do in order to play the game, which admittedly makes the game fairly easy, especially if you know what you're doing, you limit yourself. You have to specifically take a specific... there are rules, and there's all sorts of rules that exist for this challenge. I'm not going to describe all of them. There's like 8 different permutations of the way to do the 4-Job Fiesta. As I said, the way I am doing it is, so I get 4 random classes, one at each point in time, and 1 for each character specifically. So my Barts can only ever be a samurai, and no one else will be a samurai. And I'll figure out what I guess that would be Lena will be, or excuse me, Ferris will be next, and then Lena, and then Galuf, right? And I have to adhere to that. Some permutations of the challenge include, for example, like right now I have Samurai. You can see it up there in the middle top of my screen. I've got what my classes... I'm going to put all my classes up there for that. So one of the permutations is, because I have Samurai, and I won't get Samurai till the 4th crystal, I can have, actually, hang on, I'm saying this wrong. Like, let's say I got Monk. I'm doing this in the wrong direction. Let's say I got Monk for my Wind Crystal. So, under some permutations, only Barts could be Monk, and everyone else would have to be Freelancer. Under some other versions of the game, everyone could be Monk. And that's the easiest version of the 4-Job Fiesta right there. Everyone can be the classes you've unlocked. You just have to pick, just have to have the classes represented. So you can multi-class, which makes it much, much, much easier. Most of the versions of 4-Job Fiesta I do not allow multi-classing, like this one. Barts will only ever be a Freelancer and a Samurai, so I will never multi-class. Make sense? And then there's like the Classic run, which only uses the FF1 jobs. There's the Naturalist run, in which case each character is limited to jobs from their crystal. There's a lot of different ways to do this. It's fun. And of course, this is all done to benefit Child's Play, which is a great charity that I am in favor of. It's one of 3 charities that I actually firmly and fully support in this world. And so I like to do it. I like to raise awareness of it, and it's fun. It's a nice chance to replay one of my favorite games every year, basically. I've been doing 4-Job Fiesta for a long time, but I only started actually doing it online for the show and for the charity as of last year. So this is actually technically my second 4-Job Fiesta for the show. So I have decided, because I got a lot of flack for my complaints about this version, because I actually did an exploration of this version to see how bad it was. I got a lot of flack for that. I stand by my statements. I'm not taking it back. I think the graphics look terrible. However, in the interest of balance, I have decided not to rag on the graphics until I encounter characters I have never encountered before, because we didn't actually play all the way through, so I don't know what Exdeath looks like, I don't know what Gilgamesh looks like, I don't know what Zizat looks like. So, when I see new characters, I reserve the right to make fun of their appearance, because they're probably gonna look terrible. Because you have a dirty mind, Zoan. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, Valvedrix, that literally just happened to me. I was literally just mashing A, nothing else. And yet, oh my god, my boat can go sideways. Yeah, strafing boat! I don't know if you noticed that, but I was just mashing A, not anything else, because I was just talking to you guys. And all of a sudden I was on the rogue command. Just another one of those bugs that this game has. This game has a lot of... This version, specifically, has a fairly large amount of bugs. Again, because they just kind of crudely ported it, and then ported the port, and then didn't support it. Don't worry, Gilgamesh will be in Kingdom Hearts and validate all of our faith in him. I hope. So I'm not buying spells. There's not really any reason to. I don't have any spellcasters right now. I may never have any spellcasters. Yes, Galeria, that's correct. For those of you not aware, in this version, and this is something that's really apparent to anybody who's speedrun this game or done challenge runs of this game, the encounter rate is way lower. Now, on the first half, my first thought is awesome. One of my biggest complaints about every FF from 1 to about, I'd say, 8, but it really was bad in the SNES and NES era, is the encounter rate. The encounter rate is through the roof. Now, one of my biggest complaints about FF9... Don't hate me, Samurai, I love FF9, you know that, but one of my biggest complaints about FF9 is they lowered the encounter rate to something reasonable, but didn't lower the requirements of leveling and the job points and everything to match that. Basically making grind a little more mandatory than it normally would be. In most FFs, if you just do the I fight everything that encounters me, the Korean method, if I just fight everything that I go through without skipping content, you'll usually be at a good level to be at a good level for the game. Stuff might be a little difficult, but it won't be too easy either. 9 kind of skipped that and kind of screwed that up. So we have the same problem with this particular version of FF5. The encounter rate is much lower, so my overall level is going to be much, much lower. That reminds me of something else I want to share with you guys. Yeah, basically is the one. So I have decided this is my first 4-job Fiesta ever. I'm going to accept losing. There's a lot of reasons for that. First of all, because I'm doing what, in my opinion, is one of the hardest challenges I could do for the 4-job Fiesta limitation. For reference, I'm also doing no rods, for those of you who know what that means. So, yeah, no rods, restricted classes, only one of each class, freelancer until class unlocks. This is the hardest version of 4-job Fiesta that I'm aware of. Feel free to... Not counting just flat-out doing 4 Berserkers, which is basically just a permutation of this challenge. So... I'm accepting loss. If I get to a point where I feel like I have to go and grind my face off in order to succeed at the game, I'm going to go ahead and just put it down. There's a second reason. No. There's a second reason why I'm doing that, though, and that's because I have 100 million billion things to do with regards to the show right now. I just got the features restarted. I kind of wish this actually happened, like, 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, so I was a little more caught up. I have not Valvedrix. I own it, but I have not poked at it yet. So the timing of 4-job Fiesta is actually really terrible, because I'm trying to do my features. I just finished covering E3, which took up a colossal amount of my time, and I'm still getting ready for the future. I'm still getting ready for future features and whatnot, so this is taking a little bit of a backseat. It's such a big thing, and I know several of my viewers wanted me to do a 4-job Fiesta, but it is not as high of a priority as everything else right now. God, that font is hard to read. That is really hard to read. Morning, Frozen. There is a no job for freelancer challenge. It is actually not as hard as the challenge I'm doing right now. And I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? It's actually easier than you'd think. Because, oh, right, that's going on Ferris. Because the fact that freelancers' big ability is the fact that they can equip anything. With proper gearing, this game is nowhere near as hard as if your gear limitations exist, if that makes sense. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Remind me later, Lex, if I happen to get that. So, actually, no, Tigzar, believe it or not. You'd be surprised how many people, and I used to be like this, would run away from encounters semi-regularly, especially in the NES and SNES era. I don't know. I hate this font. Does anybody know what this font is? In fact, better question. Does anybody know if there's a mod right now for this version of this game on Steam to replace that font with anything else? I hate that font. It actively upsets me. It is such a generic font. By the way, so just tiny little tidbit here. So, you may or may not recognize this layout from last year's 4-job Fiesta. Believe it or not, I had to rebuild it. Because of the hard drive crash, because of the fact that we're like 3 hard drives later at this point in time. I basically had to rebuild all this stuff, so I had to re-find all this. The good news is, though, I was able to pull up the old video and look at it and say, okay, well, I used that font for that, and I used that color for that, and pull the specific colors out and pull the images together and re-rip the sprites and all that fun stuff. So, I think I did a pretty good job of recreating it. Have I ever ran FF14? Yeah, I've played FF14. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it again in the future. FF14 kind of screwed me over. For those of you not aware, there's an issue with the accounting side of things, and it's hard to describe, but basically it is possible to fix it, but I would probably have to actually contact support in order to actually get it working, and that irritates me tremendously. So me and Pax both just kind of walked away from FF14 and haven't actually looked back, even though we were both interested in the game, even though we both liked the game. That issue was an issue. It was an aggravation that we don't want to deal with right now, especially when we've got so many other MMOs going through at the moment. Darn it, Takeda. Go play an RPG. Good evening, Notherzim. Happy birthday. I hope you have had a good birthday. FF14 was good stuff, it's just that accounting issue is such a hassle. And again, we're going through Asheron's Call right now, finishing that up. We're going through Lotro, finishing that up. Legion is coming out soon. We still want to play through the rest of STO. We still want to play through the rest of Neverwinter. So FF14 is just lower on the priority list for of no fault of its own, I feel like pointing out. Yeah, I know there's a bunch of mods for FF6 on Steam. I've already looked at quite a few of them. I don't know if it's possible as a one, but I do think it is at least partially possible. I don't know how much of the stream you continued to watch, but that's not too bad, Illyria. You'll have a good, easy time on the first couple of bosses for that. I don't think it would really work with FF3 in the same way, but I'll talk about why in a moment. What was I going to say? I was in the most things up. Oh, the cold thing, the Zelda thing. I don't know if you kept watching Zawan, but later on we discovered there's basically 3 additional ways to, or 2 additional ways, I should say, in order to have it so that you can avoid cold in addition to gear. You can make campfires pretty much on the fly, and you can also... Oh, shoot, I forgot to equip it. You can also equip a torch... someone verify when I'm back live. According to my thing, I'm live. Seriously, someone... Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Twitch on that one. Now, probably the funny thing is, this is the other reason why I wouldn't do a, oh shoot, I haven't saved lately, have I? This is the other reason I wouldn't do a freelancer-only challenge, and that's because of the fact... Oh my god! Alright, hang on. See if I can force this to fix it. Sorry, my viewers on YouTube. I don't know what the hell Twitch is doing. Maybe if we force it to reset, Twitch will decide, oh, you're actually live. I'm sorry. I totally forgot that you're actually live because I'm Twitch and I'm stupid. Who knows? I guess we'll find out soon enough. But in the interim, what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, one of the reasons I wouldn't do a full freelancer thing is the overall strategy is basically boils down to your equipment and your inventory. That's it. That's the only strategy that exists, is trying to balance your equipment out and trying to make sure you're constantly stocked with Phoenix Downs and potions and all that fun stuff. And that's it. That's the strategy. So it's not really as fun as it could be, if you follow me. There we go. Yep. So yeah, I might actually die here because I kind of walked into this fight totally unprepared. This is part of that byproduct of that being lower level problem I mentioned earlier, especially since I am just freelancer right now. Fortunately, I think Ferris can carry us to victory. Fingers crossed. Maybe. She can withstand two more hits. Oh, you son of a... Yeah, I'm gonna die. Never give up. Never surrender. Or just die. Oh my god! MVP Ferris here. Ah, okay, there it goes. Jeez Louise. I wonder how close he was. Alright, let's... So, we're all the way back here. Oh my god. Carl Boss wins. Fatality. Okay. Sure. So, there was another question I was going to answer, and I can't remember what it was right now. Oh, would it, Velvedrix? Ah, shoot. Oh, it's probably too late for that. No. FF12 is the awesome. There's a reason I have done 2 streams of it in the past. No, Dakota. I already talked about the Naked Run. Watch the VOD if you want to hear about the Naked Run. Damn it, damn it, damn it, no. Well, I know I was going to talk about Bravely Default. Before we get any further, though... Ink! Alright, now for some exciting gameplay action! Oh, yeah. Hang on, let me stretch a bit. Stretch. So, one thing I do want to talk about, before we get to the Kingdom Hearts stuff and the Bravely Default stuff, is, I just lost it. Hey, I won! I feel like I'm playing Record Keeper. Where's my pillow? Oh, yeah! I remember now, I remember. Okay, so this is gonna sound like a bit of a dumb question. But because I've already done a rumination on this game. I've already done a lore run on this game. I've already streamed 4-Job Fiesta. I feel like I don't really have anything else to share, so this is basically the equivalent of a chill run, okay? You remember, like we did back with, FF12, right? Oh, that's ridiculous, the one. That would take effort and time. Ugh, I spit on actually caring about one of the best FFs ever made. Anyways, so, but in all sincerity for a moment here. Yeah, I'm leaving it up to you guys if I stream this at all, basically. Like, Q&A is always open on my stream, especially at this point. But I'm gonna go ahead and start up a poll here really quick here. And it's up to you if I keep streaming this or not. Like, I know that sounds like a weird thing, but I feel like I don't have anything to talk about, really. I don't mind doing a chill run. It's FF frickin' 5. I love replaying this game. I love having a nice excuse to replay this game. Poll open. Should I keep streaming for John Fiesta? Yes. No. I will leave this up for a while. We'll say 100 minutes. Yeah, sure. 100 minutes. No, not really, Thanatos. No, although, as ever, this is an excellent time for Q&A while I'm just kind of doing a chill run. Feel free to ask me about anything. Except E3. Do not ask me about E3. I would rather save E3 for this coming Sunday. I literally have 2 pages of stuff to talk about for the next week's lore week. Record Keeper is surprisingly well done. It's basically the total opposite of what we're staring at here. This port of a port of a port of a port. In other words, it feels like there was real effort and work and love and care that was put into it. And they really tried to put forth a decent product. The problem is Record Keeper has no meat for me. It basically has no actual substance. There's no real story to speak of. It's just go do random battles from the FF series. Now, it feels like someone said, hey, you know what'd be awesome? You know what people really love about the Final Fantasy series? The random encounters. And I feel like they just made a game about the random encounters. It's a very well done game about the random encounters, but it's incredibly disinteresting to me. I actually kind of stopped playing it, and I may just put it down forever. So, yeah. Thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3? It'll never come out. We'll never see it. Nomura himself said, do not expect Kingdom Hearts 3 news anytime soon. Please just think about 2.8 and ignore 3 for now. To my mind, that means one of 2 things. Either A, he's getting tired of hearing people ask where the hell is Kingdom Hearts 3, or B, he's basically at the point now where he is very anxious for Kingdom Hearts 3 to finally get going, and he is being held back by something else. Cough, Disney. Cough. Favorite job in this, in terms of functionality or just pure aesthetics? Remember that question, Dakota, because that's a long answer. I'll get back to that. I said I wouldn't rag on the art, and I won't. You guys can rag all you want. I'm not going to restrict you. But I actually said I will not rag on the art until I see new characters, and I won't. My favorite job aesthetically is pretty much always Dragoon. I like Dragoon, just in terms of cool factor. It's always one of those big ones for me. In terms of functionality, that's a lot tougher one. But I have to admit, Blue Mage really shines for me in this one. This is the first FF that had a Blue Mage, the very concept of a Blue Mage. And in my personal opinion, this is the best implementation of a Blue Mage. Like, really, really, really like what they did with Blue Mage in this one. It is worth noting Blue Mage is absolutely broken to hell and back. However, it's also worth noting it's only broken to hell and back if you know what you're doing. How many of you out there... Oh, happy birthday, Chaosbringer. How many people of you out there, when you first played FF5, had no idea how to use Blue Mage properly? Okay, come on. Ah! Debark! Debark! Ah! Get off the boat! Ah, crap. I think this is one of the bugs I heard mentioned. Hang on. Let me pull up that list of bugs. While I'm at it, though, I need to add something here. Yeah, it's... You don't understand, Lex. It's not working. I'm not that stupid. Thank you, though, for assuming I am. I'll put this over here nice and obvious, so everyone can see it. Just drive the boat to the end. Come on! Well, hey, it worked! Just randomly worked. Clearly, I just had to like, hit the exact... Actually, I know exactly what just happened. Oh, that's terrible. So yeah, that is a known bug. I just realized which bug that is. That's going to be absolutely awful every time I have to use a boat. So, for those of you not aware, FF5 actually is based on a grid system. But you notice how there's this diagonal thing they added for the phone version? Well, they didn't actually support the diagonal thing much, so if you're not right on the grid where you're supposed to be, it doesn't work quite right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bug I read about last night when I was getting prepped for this. It's not one of the worst bugs. There's much worse than that. Anywho. So I don't see any other questions at the moment, so let's answer Takoida's question. Takoida asked me about Advent Children. He says, Arsh, Advent Children is the dumbest movie in the known history of the universe. It's terrible, disgusting, and awful. Why is it you love it so? Why are you so wrong, Arsh? What is wrong with your terrible, horrible brain? Why are you terrible, dumb, and awful? Sincerely, Takoida. So, in response to Takoida's question, I like Advent Children for several reasons. First of all, I feel like the voice acting was very well done. Second of all, I think the animation, other than the... Okay, so the English version suffers from a huge... Let's talk about the negatives of Advent Children first. There are two big negatives for me for Advent Children. Big negative number one. Big negative number one is the fact that they artificially screwed up the English dialogue in order to try and make their words line up with the lip syncing. That, in my opinion, was a huge mistake, and it takes a lot of the strength out of a lot of lines. There are several lines where they say stuff that just doesn't make any sense, or completely doesn't fit the tone of the scene or whatever, because they're trying to make them line up with the lip syncing, and they refuse to change the lip syncing for the English version. Now, I'm okay with them not changing the lip syncing, but they should have just done a proper translation. It's not like they couldn't. It's not like they didn't know how to. It's just that they refused to because they wanted to do the lip-syncing thing. So that, in my opinion, is one of the, I'd say, the second biggest flaw with Advent Children. The biggest flaw with Advent Children is the fact that its story is, in my opinion, gotta add that word, I gotta add that phrase, bad. To explain what I mean a little bit by that. In my opinion, Advent Children's story is utterly and completely repetitive. It's like Cloud goes through an entire, complete, well-done character arc all the way through FF7. It's a fairly long character arc. It has several resets along the way, even, you know? It does several things where it goes through this whole extensive thing, and then he completes it. By the end of FF7, he has completed his character arc. He has faced off against Sephiroth 1-to-1. Remember, that's the completion of his character arc, and he's done, and it's over, and he's completed. Then Advent Children, just without reason or purpose, suddenly decides, let's go ahead and repeat part of Cloud's character arc. And it really is just a rehashing of several aspects of Cloud's character arc that they've already done. That's my biggest flaw with Advent Children right there. Now, that being said, those are the two negatives for me. Basically, everything else is a positive. The directing was amazing. I think we really got to see Nomura's directing chops in that film. Oh, I hate this version, 12 Maniac. What are you talking about? We really got to see his directing chops. They did some good stuff with the music. I do like a lot of the character scenes. I do like the fact that every now and again they showcase several characters better than Cloud. In fact, I personally think a lot of characters other than Cloud got some really good character development in Advent Children. Most notably, I know a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I think they did a good thing with the Turks, and I think they did a good thing with Rufus. Rufus is actually probably my favorite character in Advent Children, legitimately. I like how they portrayed the Augmented. I like how they bothered to weave in limit breaks into the showcasing. You know, I like how they did a lot of things, basically. Hey, girls, come here. I like how there's a tiny plot thread in Advent Children. It's barely mentioned. It's only there if you're paying attention. I probably wouldn't have even noticed it if not for the fact that it's a common thread in every other post-FF7 work about how Yuffie is basically the heart that keeps the team together, you know? There's a lot of good stuff there. Alright, guys, so anybody who's followed my FF5 stuff ever knows what Piano Flex is, right? Well, this year, because we're doing the worst thing in the universe, I mean, the Steam version, we're not actually doing Piano Flex, because if you've watched this before, you know they don't flex in the new animations. So we're doing something a little bit different this year. Please join me, everyone, in instead of doing Piano Flex, instead doing the piano. I'll just go with my original idea. The piano waggle. Piano waggle. Because that's what that is. Whoa, shoot. I just knocked over my Warcraft cups. Piano flail, I like it. Piano flail. We're gonna call it that, if we're not. Piano flail. When I was mentally picturing this, my actual mental image was of, like, you know when you see in, like, anime or cartoons or whatever, their arms literally just turn to rubber and turn into these smooth waves. That's what I was picturing. Piano wiggle. You know. Yes, progressive. It's really a hassle to get used to. Save. Just don't want to do all that again. Next time I die, I'll try resume, I swear. Wiggle, wiggle. So... And yes, we're doing all the pianos. Of course we are. Wiggle, wiggle. What are you linking me, Samurai? Yes! Wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man. Because my interpretation of it, Takoida, is that he didn't redeem himself. He just decided to grow a brain. In other words, he realized the best position to be in was the guy on top of the heap, and the heap was a mess right now, so he should turn his resources and funding and time into fixing the world in a way so that the world would love him, or love the organization that is taking over, and he would be in charge of the organization that's taking over. In other words, to put it in different terms, there's no point in being in charge of a junk heap when you can turn it into a palace. Thank you, Zoan. Least favorite Final Fantasy character in my favorite, so that'd be 6. No, of course I haven't, Zoan. I haven't really decided the best way to demonstrate that the lore week will be every week. I'm thinking I'm probably going to put it on the second channel's schedule when I actually finally sit down and make that banner. Because stuff being on, pass, Chaosbringer, but thank you for looking it up. They have a mod to fix the in-game sprites, or the text, you know. Anywho, yeah, the bot's on, because we have a poll going. How was I saying? Right, we're gonna have at least 2 regular streams every week, Friday and Sunday. I haven't decided if I'm gonna put any other regular stuff up there. I'm not sure yet, and Lena just died. Anyway, so least favorite character in FF6. See, there's 3 characters that come to mind pretty much immediately, because they're non-characters. They don't really receive what you'd call a large amount of characterization. That feels like a gimme. I will not say I dislike Ubero, because I don't. And I will not say I dislike Gogo, because I don't. And I won't say I dislike Mog, because I don't. Actually, I like all those characters. But pick one of them randomly as my least favorite, and there's your answer. Also, this amuses me. Square Enix is using MooBot. Seriously. Hey, Narlex. Ah, crap. This might actually be bad. I'm just gonna run for this one. Actually, maybe not. Yeah, MooBot. It's something I considered for one of my bot needs as well. And I decided MooBot simply wasn't good enough for what I needed. Wow, that lands safe. Let's go ahead and run. Run! Alright, hang on. So I gotta line this up. Which means I need to be, like, up here. There we go. Yes, I do, Lex. Personally, I think that because they lose the crystals, in the same way that the FF7 characters lost their materia, I think they lose their overall power. Their access to jobs, their multi-classing, all the abilities they got from that, all that stuff, I think, has gone away. That is, of course, just my take on it. Well, the answer is both, of course. So on. Ah! This interface takes some real getting used to. So I've got her equipped, him equipped. There we go. Yeah, so we're already doing a little bit of grinding. Just a little bit. I agree Seng and Elena should have had more screen time. But I also happen to be a fan of both characters, and the Turks in general. Hi, Pokemiibo. And hey, Captain Joby. What's up? I will actually agree that Seng should have been dead, even though that wasn't in the original translation. I like that idea better, personally. So hang on, someone asked a question that I missed here. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Favorite character and my least favorite FF. What is my least favorite FF? I'd have to think about that. I guess technically FF13 would qualify as my least favorite FF. If we're even counting it. Are we counting FF13? Nothing else really qualifies. Excuse me. So my favorite character... Oh, wait, hang on. Was it my favorite and my least favorite, or my least favorite and my favorite? Yeah, it's favorite and my least favorite. So that would be Zaz. That's easy. Zaz was awesome. Name a character with personality in FF1. But yeah, I'd go with Zaz. And from 13. If we're picking from 2, Minwoo. Easy answer. Minwoo's awesome. Favorite Overwatch character? To play as? There's several I like a lot, but Mercy probably goes to the top of that heap, really. Ow. Oh, I'm screwed. Because effort is difficult, Pearson. And Bartz is dead. Let's see. No, I have not finished Bravely Default still. Although I do know the ending of both it and the second game. I missed another question. Hang on, let me scroll up a bit here. If I had to choose a lore of magic from Warhammer, what are they? Wow, this guy's a dick, ain't he? Wow, just... wow. And... oh, we're not dead yet. I'm about to be. It's okay, I'm cool, guys. I'm cool. I have no potions, if you're wondering why I'm just letting auto-battle go. Favorite character in Spirits Within? No, Fearsome, it's just that they're terrible. And this is a terrible port of a bad port of a port of the game. So, favorite boss in FF6? Lore-wise or gameplay-wise? Same with the least favorite. Thank you, Absurdity. I'm actually really happy with all of the Fallout 3 episodes except for the next one, which got cut off artificially. So if you're wondering why the next episode is only like 20 minutes long, that's why. It wasn't supposed to be. Come on, where is it? Ah, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah, it's there. It's there. Ah! Yeah. Nope. How about there? No. There we go. Got it. There is no auto dash in this game, nor is there holding down run in this game that I'm aware of. So, lore-wise, favorite boss in FF6? Kafka. The last Kafka. I literally could do essays. As someone permits one. I could literally do essays, see you around, Bergman, about the Kefka fight at the end. And I've talked about the Kefka fight at the end many, many times. There's probably going to be better X-Men here. A better Gil was the real important part. Least favorite fight lore-wise? Rhizopause. You have to use a button, Valvidrix. That's what I was doing. It just wasn't working, because it's dumb. Like I said, this is another of those known bugs. Although, actually, just because I'm curious. Hey, you, be a thief real quick. can dash on the boat! Yeah! So there's your auto dash. You just have to have a thief to do it. I might break my own rules and max out a thief just so I could have auto dash forever. Hey, Poke Special. Probably not absurdity. Oh my god, those bricks are terrible, actually. They're disgusting. I hate them all. I spit on them forever. Spit, spit, spit. I feel like I've missed questions. If I haven't answered a question, please repost it. Please, please repost it. This is the best time ever for random Q&A. Repost! Damn you! Give me your questions, or I will defeat your soul. The only job I have right now is Samurai, so I'm just kind of stuck with Freelancer by the rules I'm going with for this particular challenge, until I get the Earth job. Just to make the point, by the way, I'm mashing D-Bark here. And now I'm holding it steady. See this? This is what I mean with the issue I'm having with this version. So I gotta line it up properly. Is there a lore of healing, Zoan? Come on. Can I get off here? Well, that's going to be an opinion question, but I will admit I absolutely despised Spirits Within. However, I admit I also despised it for reasons that are not necessarily related to the quality of the movie, as weird as that sounds. Oh my god! Get off the ship! Ah! I'm this close to just going back to the GBA version. This close. I know I wanted to torture everyone. But oh my god, this is terrible. I can't get off the boat! I can't get off the boat! I need to get the exact pixel to get off the freaking boat! Oh my god, this is the worst part ever! Why? Why am I playing this terrible version? Ah! 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 I found it! I found the pixel. I found the pixel. What was I doing here? Oh, right. I'm buying gear. Oh my god! The good news is I won't have the boat for much longer. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is... okay. Can I afford 3 of those? I can. Fantastic. Oh my god. It's okay, guys. It's okay. I got off the boat. Oh no! You're right! I'm gonna have to land on Catapult with the airship later. I started a 4 freelancers run. I actually, as I talked about, I found it boring. I did not enjoy the overall in procedure. It was all inventory and equipment management. Got it, Zilin. There you go. There's my answer then. Squared it, fearsome. Oh my god. Hardest fight ever. Let me out. Hey, let me out. No, Foodogs, for many reasons. First of all, it's not an RPG, it's an adventure game. Second of all, we've already had a Zelda RPG called Zelda 2. Oh god, I gotta get back on the boat, guys. Okay. Wait, I didn't buy items. I need to buy items. That's important. I'm just thinking, is there anything else I need to do in town? Nope, not spells, not spells. Items are in. I had to think about that. Ah! Really? They get credit because of the fact that they did the GBA port, Validrix. Okay. Wait, hang on. I can't save. Of course I can't save. Can I get off the boat? There we go. Okay. Hang on, hang on. I figured out the trick. So, if I'm holding down, won't debark. If I stop moving, yeah, there's literally a trick. Don't hold the direction to get off the boat. That's the trick. I have talked about FF15 many times, but my thoughts have never changed. Looks fun to play. I have no idea about the story. Wait, I can't even loot chests while I'm pushing up against them? Why? You know what? I changed my mind. I don't actually want to know. Let's see if we can die to this boss again. Little better geared. And some potions this time. Anybody ever see someone who types with one finger at a time? You know, like this? That's what I feel like Square wanted the gameplay here to be like. That's true, Sora types like that. What you got to eat, Shuri? I could answer that, Sonic Doctor, but I don't really feel like it. I mean, if you know, there are some fairly legitimate reasons to look down upon Square Enix. There's also some fairly legitimate reasons to look up to them, too. But again, try to keep in mind that most of the people who brought us the amazing things at Square don't work there anymore, and came from Square Soft, which is a very different company than Square Enix. And Square Enix still does good stuff, which I'm still interested in. Finally! God! I'm used to just casting Bolt and being done with this guy. Holy moly. Guess what? I get to fight Siren this way, too. That's gonna be fun. Where do I think Square Enix went wrong? Yuichi Wada. I'm pretty serious. Yoichi Wada's a dumbass who has never had a good idea in his life. When he woke up one day and said, I'm gonna keep breathing today, that was a bad idea. Okay, I'm obviously being facetious and for the sake of... Poor Sildra. Rip Sildra. I already own I Am Setsuna, although that is thanks to Samurai. So yeah, but yes, I am looking forward to it regardless. But again, to kind of counteract my own point, it's not like the new team working on the Square stuff has always been bad. The new team made FF9, just to name one example. FF8 is not that bad of a game, it just has some serious flaws. You know, FF10, the same team. FF12 was a different team, of course, but FF12 was amazing. Part of the problem, though, is when did FF12 come out? Give me a date. Because I'm going to illustrate a point here. It's okay, she dies for real, Valvatrix. Spoiler alert. Yeah, imagine FF10, except it looked gray and dark and horrible. I know that would look generic, but I have to admit it would probably add to the appeal for me. So, FF12 came out in 2006. And for all its flaws, I still consider it a very good game. Also, these transparencies suck. Wait, I said I wouldn't talk about the graphics. Damn it, I'm sorry. Please don't hit me, Master. FF12 came out in 2006. What year is it now? How much has Square Enix actually developed since then? Not produced, not published, developed. So, legitimate question here, because I know we have the 313s. I'm trying to think what else. Thank God. Anyways, you probably start to see my point. Goodwill is not infinite. Goodwill is not something that lasts forever, nor should it, in my opinion. So, the things that Square has been making in the last decade have sort of eroded the goodwill that was built up over a very long period of time. You see what I mean? So I hope that kind of answers at least my reasoning why I feel why I tend to look negatively and derogatorily towards Square Enix in the more modern age. And God, I can barely see where I'm frickin' going. There we go. Sorry. Nope, we're sticking with the torture, Dakota. Now, as Samurai has said, as recently as, like yesterday, I want to say, they certainly seem to be turning themselves around. And that's good. In fact, that's awesome. In fact, I'm really looking forward to the stuff they're pushing out in the future. I am looking forward to 2.8. I am looking forward to 15. I really am. Like, I talked about this just the other day. I actually think FF15 looks like a fun game to play. I really do. Record Keeper, I just mentioned that, is actually a surprisingly well put together game. It may not be for me, but it looks like it actually has real effort put into it. FF Dimensions, to use that example, you know. And they've been really pushing the PC market lately and really trying to expand on bringing stuff out of Japan over here. For example, we are finally getting the Dragon Quests over here, the proper remakes of the Dragon Quests. You know, 7 and 8 we're getting supposedly this year. 10 and 11 might come out too, you know, etc., etc. My point being, it does feel like Square has started turning around their perspective. And I like that, and I am overall positive at the thought. A good port? Yes. Because FF10 on the PS4 and PC is a good port. But I mean, you mean the really old ones. But the answer is still yes, because FF4DS on the Steam is actually a good port. Legitimately. I'm not arguing against that, Samurai. It's just everything I've seen about the premise... Okay, let's talk about the positive and the negative here, for example. So here's the positive side. This is the exact same point from both a positive and a negative perspective. I need to turn this down. This is so loud. There we go. Let's talk about the positive and the negative perspective. So here's the same point from the positive and the negative perspective. First of all, walking into a game blind is exactly what someone like me, the lore runner, wants. I want to be able to go in and experience it blind and live and really mulch. You know, I don't want it spoiled. I don't want the frickin' trailer problem where I walk into a movie knowing all the big points. You know? I don't want that. So I want to walk into an RPG, to a story-centric game plot. It's one of the reasons I was actually glad that they went so anti-story spoilers with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Because that means that I have nothing spoiled for me. I have only the tiniest ideas of what's going on in that game, right? So that's good. Now here's the negative side of that. Story is the meat of an RPG for me. It is the core concept that I care about. There are very few RPGs I play because I enjoy the gameplay. There are some. But for the most part, I enjoy the story. Trying to sell me on an RPG while telling me basically nothing about the story is like basically saying, no, it'll be good, trust me. At that point, it's not just walking into it blind, it's basically asking for blind faith. Now, assuming it comes out on PC, or if by some miracle I actually get a PS4 by then, I do intend to look at FF15, absolutely. In fact, I'd love to do a thing for the show on it. But, as of right now, if the show didn't exist, I probably wouldn't be picking up 15. I would wait till it came out and I had spoiled some of the story for myself to see if I know I'm actually going to like it, because I want to know if that meat is going to be enjoyable. Because, you know, money is not infinite, right? I mean, you understand what I mean. You have to make careful and deciduous buying decisions for your hobbies. And video games is our hobby, right? One of our hobbies. It's one of the reasons I like doing these explorations. It's one of the reasons I like doing premiere runs, because I want to do that for you guys. I want to say, here's the game. Here's the meat of the game. Here's the core of the game. What do you think? Because I don't want to tell you what I think. I want to show you the game so you can decide for yourself while giving my impressions on it. That's the whole point of a premiere run. We did that with Dragon Age Inquisitions. We're going to do that with Mass Effect Andromeda when it comes out, you know? And we're going to do that with a bunch of other games. No Man's Sky. We're going to do that with No Man's Sky when it comes out. I have people who actually ask me, I'd really want you to look at blah so I can tell if it's worth buying. You know? So, these are my thoughts on FF15 in short. Nothing I have seen actually sells me on it. And I would need someone like me to sell me on it. Also, I'm sorry, guys, spoiler alert, Ferris is female. You know how I know that? Because she identifies as female. Sorry. I actually saw a fan art for a Ferris for Dissidia, which looked awesome. She was pretty distinctly female, but the way it was drawn, you could see how she could wear outfits to make herself look masculine. It was very, very well drawn. Sorry, I've seen Amano's drawings of men. The portrait doesn't give anything away. It's not an insult. It's a statement of fact. Yeah, the GBA version's translation gets across the masculinity better. They specifically refer to her as him several times, and his tone is much more masculine in word choice and overall presentation. In the original Japanese version, so for those of you not aware, in Japanese, you can, with writing, with text, you can change the tone of your writing. For example, you can write a sentence that is supposed to be read in an old man voice or a little girl voice, you know, that kind of thing. So in the original Japanese, Ferris speaks in a manly voice. It's just that doesn't come across into English because English doesn't have tones like Japanese does. English has dialects, which is a little different. Yeah, I've always, even when I first played this the very, very first time, beta testing the RPG version, and doing work on that, I automatically... I don't recall ever being a twist to me. Well, they originally called her he, just like they do in this version, until the reveal, in which case Ferris is referred to as she henceforth. Again, Ferris identifies as female, in addition to the fact that she happens to physiologically be female. Welcome to the second worst version of FF5, Sir Waffle and Waffle. Oh, I forgot to show off the end scene, I'm sorry. Hey, Creel. So, I know I've asked this before, but how do you guys pronounce Creel? I've been pronouncing it the way I just did for years. I actually spelled it for a friend of mine, Gary, the first time he ever played this game, and I said, how do you pronounce this? And he said, Creelay. That could be progressive. FF5 is one of the more lighthearted / incredibly dark and horrifying FFs. So I see Kryl. I've heard several ways to pronounce her. Jeez, Galoof. Yeah, by the way, I always find it amusing to hear how people pronounce the different words in the FF series. Because for the most part, we don't have pronunciations. For example, Sealess. Ever heard of that one? Because I have. Creole cooking. I can't even do it properly, but there was one that was like Rumma. I've actually heard it pronounced Rumma before. Okay, so this is going to be a hell of a fight, because I have nothing going for me. Alright, we're just going to do this for a minute. Bahamut! You always got to say it right. Bahamut! Oh, Bahamut! FF11. I have actually talked about FF11. Once upon a time, I did a series on MMOs, because I'm actually rather well-learned when it comes to MMOs. And when... yeah, but a lot of their names actually changed from Japanese to English, and other languages, for that matter. So... I can't do the honored voice. I can't do it. Let's just chill for a minute. I know, Tidus. Ugh. Or how about Zidane? I'm still not used to that one. Yeah, that's what's good. FF11. So I actually used to have a whole section about MMOs. Actually, I think it's still on my site. It's just not as extensive as it used to be. So this is back before I actually became big on the show, to the point where I was actually doing this as my full-time job. But I had quite a few people who would show up for my MMO things and just hate on me for it. People who would bash me and scream at me because I spoke negatively about an MMO they like. You know how that goes. Nowadays, I'm a little more annulled to that. But back then, I was really upset about that. So I actually took all those videos down. And those videos don't exist anymore. There's no hard drive that contains them. So those are gone forever. So my whole in-depth discussion on EverQuest and EVE Online and FF11 are all gone. All of those have been removed from reality because I figured, in my opinion, all of those were net negative games for me, and I tried to describe why as reasonably as I could. And I still got lots of hate for it, so I just kind of gave up on it. So that probably explains my thoughts on FF11 in a nutshell. Big net negative. But the best way I've ever came up with to describe FF11 is it's a game I wanted to enjoy, but the game wasn't willing to reach me halfway. The interface was god-awful, in my opinion. Yes, I know it was designed to be played on the PS2, but I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It was a colossal, massive aggravation slogging through that game. It was the enforced grouping was incredibly aggravating. The fact that there's this incredible, awesome main story quest that goes throughout the whole thing, and then you get to about level 9 or 10, and then all of a sudden, I hope you have a group, because screw you if you don't! And then you're pretty much screwed. Enforced grouping from that point on. The fact that everything was incredibly grindy. Like, you think FF12 is grindy. You have no idea. You don't know what grind is until you've played FF11. That is actually, I'd say, the second, maybe third grindiest game I've ever played in my life. It's ridiculous. Now, of course, that's part of the point, and as many, many people would point out in defense of it, that's part of the appeal. Grind, grind, grind. There it is. I knew it was over here somewhere. Yeah, I played Anarchy Online, too. Yeah, enough said about that one. So yeah, it was just, everything about it was basically anti-me. And I mean that sincerely. Everything about it was clearly like if I was to pick everything I want in an MMO, FF11 was the opposite of all of that, except one thing. The one thing they did right was the story. FF11's story was actually cool. I wanted to know more. I wanted to keep playing. And the game was like, alright, you can keep having your story! Just take it like a man, you freak! And that was pretty much my experience with FF11 in a nutshell. So, hey, Karmaku. Favorite Dragon Quest game? That's really tough, but I usually default to either 4 or 6. Let me think here. What's my goal like? I can do that. Oh, Tor is definitely not the worst MMO I've played. I've played Anarchy Online. I've played the original FF14, which is the worst MMO I've ever played, by the way. I've played Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah, I went there. I've played Ultima Online. Yeah, I went there, too. And the original EverQuest, when the original EverQuest first came out, should be Shiryu. I set it for like 2 hours. I've played... Oh, that's not a fair one. I'm not going to say Dark Age of Camelot. They actually did some good stuff with that one. God, I don't even remember what else. There's been a lot of bad MMOs over the years. Much, much, much worse than Tor. Tor doesn't even scratch the surface of bad, compared to how bad there is. It's like the whole E3 thing. Yeah, I played DDO. Dungeons & Dragons Online. I played, Sims Online. Yes, I've played 7th Saga. Never beat it! Oh, I should go ahead and sell real quick. WildStar was another game that was inches from greatness and just really screwed up in several ways. I will say this about WildStar. The first half of WildStar is pretty solid. Like, I'd say about from 1 to about 25-ish. Really good stuff. And then WildStar was just really, 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 really boring. until you got to endgame, and then the story picked up again. So that's my thought on WildStar in a nutshell. Obviously, I could talk about WildStar for quite a while if I really felt like it. I don't think I have enough of that. I do not. I have played SMT Online. SMT Online was fun right up until we had to spend money on it. Like, literally, it's like the first chunk of SMT is good and enjoyable and fun, and then it's like, and now here's the grind, well, screw you! Also pay money! Hang on, I could turn the music down again. Actually, you know what, I could do that in-game! Check it out. Why did the sound effects go back to low? How's that? Yeah, sure as I go. And tell you what, I'll do that right as soon as I finish the other 5 MMOs I'm already playing that don't involve me buying a new MMO. Yes, I did, Almost Sane, and I really liked it. And I actually have a whole video up about it. What the hell was I doing? God, I feel like I've lost all kinds of track here. You know, let's just sell this. Welcome to a freelancer run, aka manage your gear. Like I said, this really is a freelancer run in a nutshell. For anybody interested in doing a freelancer run, just know what you're getting into. Pirates of the Caribbean Online. How about Battlestar Galactica Online? How's that for another one? Hey, Fiend. Welcome back. We've only died a few trillion times so far, so we're doing good. Okay, that's all I can do for right now. I liked Khadgar a lot. I also liked Medivh a lot. But like I said, I talk about my... I have a whole video up about it. I'm not going to rehash all my thoughts here. Sims Online. I talked about that one earlier, Fiend. Yeah, I played Sims Online, too. Yes, I do, Sir Waffle. Especially since it's been done. There are people who do 4 Berserker runs of this game. It's also not that interesting. Basically, at that point, it's all about knowing exactly where the gear is, and walking into a battle knowing what you're getting into, if you follow. I have played Warhammer Online before they shut it down, of course. They did a couple things right with that one. I played MapleStory, I've played RuneScape. Ability distribution between different jobs and different FFs. Okay, Dakota, you're asking me to diagnose every class and every FF ever. That's kind of a big question. Why don't you pare it down a little bit for me? Yeah, 4 Berserker runs involve getting exactly the right gear and knowing exactly what you're doing with it and getting your levels pretty high. Speaking of MMOs, and I always like to pull this one out for a little bit of MMO cred, for lack of a better term. I played the Neverwinter Nights MMO. Props to anyone who even knows what I'm talking about. I showed it off during the WoW lore run, right at the beginning. Stop hitting Galuf! Yes and no, Scene. It basically means different people were in charge at different points in time. It was alright, feel good. I kind of liked Muds, so it was basically a logical next step. There was this Lord of the Rings Mud I used to play all the time. Sauron dropped some amazing loot. Excuse me, Sauron. Have I played Jade Dynasty? No, I don't believe I have. Terraria? I prefer Star whatever to Terraria because it adds a couple of additional layers to Terraria. Terraria, as is basically 2D Minecraft. I don't mean that as a negative. I just mean that's what it is. So if you like that, then you're good. Starbound, that's the one. Thank you. I am referring, of course, to the first MMO ever made, Neverwinter Nights, which was actually a MUD that they added a graphical overlay onto, basically. It was based on AOL. Anyone remember that? Back in the 90s. Now, I have played Neverwinter, which is the recent MMO. In fact, it's one of the ones that I need to finish playing through at some point. It's low on the priority list, but it is something I want to play through. Like I said, it was a MUD. Let's just call it what it was. It was, however, the first thing that I would argue is an MMO. Yes, I know Ultima Online was the first thing to be labeled an MMO. I also know that's when the term was coined. I'm well aware, thank you. Break the question down. Magic usefulness in different FFs. Depends on the FF, of course. One thing I actually like most about FF5... So, okay, let me tie in a second question to this, Dakota. One person asked me, what's the point of... If 4-Job Fiesta would work in FF3? My answer was basically no, and that's because FF5 is a much better designed game than FF3. In FF5, there are no useless jobs. That is one of the true appeals of FF5 for me personally, and one of the reasons why I like the gameplay of FF5. None of these jobs are completely useless. None of them are bad. People like to look at them and derogatorily and be like, oh no, you got this or that or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, if you know what you're doing, you can turn any and every job in this game into something awesome. And people have done it. And people have been doing it for years. There's an entire email thread which turned into a forum, which turned into stuff on GameFAQs and whatnot, talking about basically trying to do unique stuff with the jobs of FF5. So, in answer to your earlier question, what's the most useless job? My answer would be none. Even the Berserker, for all of its flaws, can be tweaked with and edited with and set up in just such a way so that the Berserker is awesome. Now, of course, when you're doing a 4 Berserker run, that's a little different because you're not allowed to actually file it up, but yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you'd have to cheat to make it work. But yeah, I could see a 4-Job Fiesta in Tactics. I could also see it in Bravely Default, which I still have to talk about. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, there are some jobs that certainly just have more use in 5 than others, especially if you know what you're doing. Let's see, we've got Beastmaster, Chemist, and Blue Mage come to mind immediately as just ridiculously overpowered classes. Of course, if you know what you're doing. But that's the reason why I kind of add that asterisk. I don't think I still think they deserve credit for the design on that. Because the only way those classes work, the only reason we call those classes so overpowered is because we know how to use them. We know what we're doing with them, right? We know how to make it work. And let's be honest with ourselves, guys. We've been doing this kind of stuff since FF1. How many of you out there did the 4 White Mage Challenge? On FF1, on the NES. How many of you finished the 4 White Mage Challenge? On the NES. But you get my point. FF5, I feel, in many ways, was a game designed for that market. People who really wanted to stretch with what you could do with the game. I love it. Um, yeah, Tiamat. Oh my god. Tiamat. Damn you, Tiamat. What's my gold at? I should be able to equip up a bit more here. Now, with just regards to magic, again, it kind of depends on the specific FF. So, for example, in FF5, once again, I really do feel this is one of the most balanced of the FFs out there in terms of pure gameplay mechanics. I can't say there's any single spell that is completely worthless. Some obviously are going to be more useful than others, but every single spell from each of the classes, time, black, white, summon, and blue, all has a use, all has purpose, and can be used against certain bosses or against certain things. And this is one of the reasons why I say... remember that question, Zwan. This is one of the reasons why I say FF5 was so well designed, because it wasn't necessarily the gameplay that was well designed, it was the boss design and then the design of the, for lack of a better term, levels. They actually made it so that they made spells useful, they made blue magic useful, they made yellow magic useful, because they made enemies and bosses and trash and levels and areas and dungeons that benefited from those things. In other words, inverse gameplay design, which is something I am hugely in favor of, even understanding that it is very, very difficult to do properly and takes a lot of time and effort in order to do properly. Which is one of the reasons why most people don't do it. Because, you know, it takes flipping forever. Wait, bronze? Ah, gosh darn it. I'm an idiot. Oh well. Is that everything? Yeah. Well, that is true in some FFs. For example, in some FFs, if you're going to really min-max... Okay, you're kind of opening a can of worms here, Dakota. How do I put this? If you're going to have a situation where you give the player agency, you're going to make your game easier. There is no getting around that simple reality of game design. If you allow the FF10 or the FF12 effect, if you allow the player to customize the gameplay, the more they can customize their classes, or their equipment, or their stats, or their options, or their abilities, the more player customization you give them, the easier the game's going to be by natural default, because the players are going to figure out how to do the combos, how to make things work with other things, how to make them work at the right time, how to make them work in the right way, and they're going to find ways that are going to make them stronger, which, by natural logic, then makes the game seem easier because they are more powerful. Make sense? Ergo, in several FFs, people have, we know these FFs for a while, we know how they work. So it gets to the point where you understand the game well enough to know, well, this is going to work much better than that. That still works, but this is simply going to be stronger, because I have the ability to customize my gaming experience, and therefore I have the ability to make it easier on me. Make sense? So there are FFs, 6 comes to mind immediately, where, and 8 does too, where physical attacks are simply going to completely outweigh magic. So, yeah, I guess that answers your question. I have seen it seen, yes. I was reminded of Dragon Age the first time I saw it. Okay, so if you can cheat in Final Fantasy Tactics, I recommend you go through it. But if you're not good at tactical combat, I would... Whoa, don't run. What are you doing? I would not recommend that at all. It's a damn shame, because Final Fantasy Tactics is awesome. And, yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics has one of the best written stories in gaming history, in my opinion, and I mean that still to this day. It's no longer really at the #1 slot, but it's damn up there, And, there we go. But yeah, Tactics' actual combat is a hassle and a obstacle to the enjoyment of the game, in my opinion. Tactics Ogre, in my opinion, pulled off the same style of gameplay much better, so did XCOM, for that matter. Same general type of gameplay if you've ever seen XCOM. Basically, if you mashed FF5 and XCOM together, except done kind of poorly, you've got Final Fantasy Tactics. Hey, Brookhampton. Yeah, so FF Tactics has the same problem that FF8 does, aka your level is effectively a difficulty meter. And I say effectively, and this is just one of the dumbest things. Yes, the PSP version is a proper remake of Tactics, in my opinion. So there's story battles, you know, the stuff that actually matters. Those are static. You know, that boss will always be level 3 or whatever, you know, no matter how you do anything else whatsoever. However, the random trash, the random encounters you fight, will be your level. Or actually, there's a formula behind it, but basically they scale to you. So if you try to out-level the game, you'll fight some random boss who's... I shouldn't say random boss. You'll fight a major, like the vampire guy, and this major character, and this big, powerful Lord of Doom. And then you'll go get destroyed by chocobos. Now, in fairness, those chocobos are bastards, but you know what I mean. That's how that works. And it sucks. And it's, in my opinion, the biggest flaw of Final Fantasy Tactics' gameplay. I can tolerate the slow gameplay, I can tolerate the objective-based design, even though it pisses me off. It's the scaling that really gets to me. Just absolutely gets me. I hate it. Like, I can't even put into words how much I loathe that frickin' scaling. I have actually put forth my solution for that, which is get rid of levels entirely. Balance the game as if everyone is basically level 1, and have your leveling, quote-unquote, be just in the job points, and just in the job system and in the equipment. And have that be your progression, and have that be how you balance the encounters. Get rid of levels entirely, and get rid of the random encounter scaling thing, because there's nothing for them to scale to. That's how I would fix FFT. But anyways, moving on. Also, I know, I'm not saying this to disagree with Tokoida, but in my personal opinion, the FMVs of FF Tactics are amazing. Very well animated and extremely well written and voice acted. Okay, so Square Enix has put me in charge of absolutely everything. Total dictatorial control. There are 700,000 things I want to do with Square Enix, so I don't even know where to start. Give me a moment. Where would I start with Square Enix? Okay, first of all, let's get to, let me actually think about that for a moment. Okay, first thing we do is we do everything in our power to get Disney out of Kingdom Hearts. I know that sounds like a weird place to start, but we need to be thinking about the future if we're in charge of this company and these franchises. And I don't think starting with the stuff I want most is the most sound financial decision as leader of the company. So we need to fix the stuff that's coming out soon first, okay? So Kingdom Hearts 3 needs to be resolved. FF15 needs to be smoothed out in its release order. We need to be thinking about going forward. We need to be thinking about where we're going in the future. That kind of a thing, right? Once we have a little bit of that established, that's when I go back and start working on the FF5 proper remake, the FF6 proper remake, the FF7 proper remake, the FF8 proper remake, the FF9 proper remake. Polishing out problems with FF12, finishing FF12. Releasing all this stuff on the PC, releasing Kingdom Hearts on the PC, going back and kind of reworking several aspects of Kingdom Hearts. The list is astronomical, to be completely honest with you. One thing I would also do is I would continue the idea of trying to grab talented developers and say, hey, go make a game, and just supporting them. That is something I feel Square has actually done pretty well in the recent years. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Let's start doing some worldwide releases. God dang it. Let's actually start having Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy and everything. All of their franchises coming out in places other than Japan. Is that a thing we could do? Yes, it is, and we're going to do that. Another thing I would do is try to be as PC and... I would basically try to be as across... I would try to be as across platform as it was feasible to do. In other words, I think the PC... this is not a PC Master Race garbage thing, but the PC is probably one of the more accessible consoles, if you can call it that, out there. And getting a lot of Square's titles on the PC, in my opinion, is a good move. They're already doing that. That's nice. We need to keep doing that. We need to keep accomplishing those ends. I forgot to stock up on potions. I should probably go reset. I don't want another death. Specific changes. Obviously, I've talked during several of these games of things I would change. FF12. Most of these are so easy and obvious, though. I mean, like, what would I do with FF12? Well, first of all, fix the drop rates. I've given my thoughts on that from a professional perspective many times. Fix the damn drop rates. It's not that hard. It's literally changing an equation. Second thing I would do, now this would be much harder to do, but really flesh out the back half of the game. The game just kind of stops. You all know this. You played FF12. The game just kind of stops after a certain point in time. We need to see the rest. What's my goal with that? We need to see the rest of FF12. They had an epic story and then a lackluster conclusion. That should be enough. And yeah, we need to have more fashion companies doing clothing design for our games, because damn it, we don't have professional character designers at our company. We have fashion designers. No, stop that crap. Just stop it. I get what you're doing with it. That's great. Oh, you know what another thing I would do? There's another thing I would do. I would hire someone who understands Japanese culture and trends a lot better than I do, and I would have them advise me. Because all of my perspective is from the flawed Western perspective, and I need to be able to understand both markets. And I think that in reverse is one of Square Enix's biggest problems right now. They don't understand the European market, and they don't understand the Western American market. And I think they need to stretch out a little bit more into both of those and try to understand what they're presenting to, rather than presenting a purely designed for the Japanese market game that doesn't quite translate well, you know what I mean? I'm not saying censorship, I'm not saying nerfing, I'm saying we should find out what the Western market wants and appeal to that. I'm saying we should find out what the European market wants and appeal to that. Anyone remember the first Final Fantasy that came out in Europe? Because I do. Can anyone tell me what it was? Very good, Mystic Quest. First FF that came out in Europe. That was Europe's first legitimate, legal, above-the-board exposure to the Final Fantasy series. Freaking Mystic Quest. Now, I actually like Mystic Quest, and I still look at that like, what? That's not the foot you start with, you know? They got Mystic Quest instead of this game right here. Curiosity, how popular do you think Final Fantasy would be in Europe if they had started with Final Fantasy V? This is the same company that didn't release FF5 outside of Japan, and it's not because they thought it was too hard. I've dispelled that myth. It's not the hard thing. It was the cultural differences. They felt like this game wouldn't translate. They thought the Western market wouldn't even like this. They were wrong, and that's my point. I can speak for the American market. I can kind of speak for the European, but I would want a European advisor too. But I cannot speak for the Japanese market, so I would want someone who is knowledgeable, intelligent, and capable of telling me about the Japanese market and saying, this is what we actually want right now. And saying, okay. Unlike some people, I know that equality doesn't mean exclusion in the opposite direction. Oh, jeez, this is way harder to do than it really should be. I don't think this guy is super complex. I think he'll be fine, especially if he can deal with XCOM and Fire Emblem. Yes, all of Europe is the same. Exactly, Zoan. I'm glad you agree with me on this. Okay. Yeah, sure. That's an interesting question, Thanatos. I would not make a new Chrono game unless I could get a decent chunk of the original team together. As I've discussed before, Chrono Trigger was one of those random chance things that really is a game that shouldn't have been made. It just kind of got made by lucky happenstance. And it really, really shouldn't have been made. It was such a luck thing. So, unless I could get the same team, or at least a decent chunk of the same team, I wouldn't even try. All we'd have otherwise is Chrono Cross, and whether Chrono Cross is good or bad is not the statement I'm making. What I'm saying is Chrono Cross was not Chrono Trigger 2, and it showed. Immediately after a failed invasion of the United States, don't forget, Shiryu. Well, considering Sakaguchi kept going with the dragon thing for a while, and has kept doing RPGs in general, I'm gonna say, yep, he's still interested. Ferris is awesome. Hashtag Ferris is awesome. Might lose this fight. I'm really worried about the next boss fight, though. Because I'm still going to be all freelancers at that point in time. Hey, Mighty Mage, does someone else want to summarize it, or should I summarize it again? Thief, Black... Is that seriously what you got, Samurai? Seriously? He just wanted to move on to different pastures. It was kind of a passing the torch kind of situation. Wow, Samurai, you are screwed. Okay, hang on. You son of a... Okay. I have been playing the FF series since Final Fantasy I. And I've been enjoying it since Final Fantasy I. Although in the interests of total honesty, back on the NES, the game that I was most excited for was not Final Fantasy I. Ow! It was actually Dragon Warrior, the first one. Nope, this is a no-rod challenge. Although I may break that rule, because holy crap. I'm just gonna accept the death. Hey, Ryan. No, we are not, Ryan. I didn't even know Nintendo was doing a second thing today, to be completely honest with you. Although Square Enix just started their thing. And it's two guys talking, so I don't actually care. Favorite old PC game? Probably Master of Orion 2, honestly. Yeah, I was gonna say, you can buy flame rings at the end of the game. Not really a viable strategy until you get towards, hell, most of the way through World 3. If I had to pick an Ultima to be remade, proper remake, I would probably pick Exodus. I doubt they're showing anything new with Thanatos. I have no idea, Karmaku, honestly. I didn't even realize it was a thing until, like, today. Dancer, Bard, Ranger, Cannoneer. Oh my god, dude. Hey, Dragon Cat. This is called Final Fantasy V. Full Job Fiesta. Oh, you snot. Nothing to steal. That's good to know. Glad I wasted that time. Blue Dragon! I don't own an Xbox. That's my thoughts on Blue Dragon. And Lena's dead. Favorite Western RPG? Dragon Age Origins. This isn't happening. I don't have the DPS for this. Yeah, I'm just gonna die. Given my own limitations, I think the only thing I can do here is go grind. Yes, I did, Mighty Mage. No, that's okay, Saint. Top 5 soundtracks? In no particular order. Final Fantasy IV, original SNES version. Chrono Trigger. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Lufia 2. And... I don't know. It's such a toss-up for the 5th one. We'll go with, Mega Man 2. No, Mega Man X. I think Mega Man X 1. So apparently there's extreme boat gameplay in FF15. Technically it's worse, Mega Mike, because of the encounter problem I mentioned earlier. Equally, FTS... FT Shopes? Am I saying that right? Either way, equally. I like them equally. Well, I already answered what I'd do if I had total control over Square Enix Radagame. No, Dragon Cat. This is not a fan-made game. Lol, though. Planescape Torment is pretty awesome. I haven't gone back and played it because the UE, but it was an awesome game. Extremely well written. I'd probably say I like New Vegas better, even though I like the two differently. I have become the new Lord of Lies. I immediately stopped lying. Oh god, Illyria. The Gula fight is so terrible. So for those of you who don't understand why I'm so not looking forward to the Gula fight, he counterattacks, and he has a multi-strike, and he hits like a truck, and he rushes. And I have a party of all physical fighters, who will stay physical fighters until and after that fight. Yes, I am FF12, as I have already started doing. Honestly, I don't want a remaster of Oblivion. I want a remake of Oblivion. Oh, hey! Hey, I killed someone. Oh my god! Okay, hang on. Geloof. Let's do this. I already have done a Skyrim FP. Ah! Damn it. So close. Alright, fine. So yeah, I've already done a Skyrim RP. I did it live with everyone. Really? 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 Remaster almost always just means a slight polishing up of textures or graphics. It is a port, in other words. I very carefully avoid the flowers here. They showed off a little bit of FF15, Shiryu. They showed that you get to drive a boat in FF15. Legend of Grimrock. Yeah, I am, but only vaguely. Anyways, the reason is because I don't do multiple RPs at the same time, and right now I'm going through Fallout 3, so I'm not going to just start up a new RP in the middle of an existing one. I actually have it up right now, sure. I've just kind of been idly watching it in the background. Like right now, for example, they're showing off Ramu. I think this is the same damn trailer they keep showing off, though. There's the main character, Noctis, and he's very grim-looking. And now he's fighting a behemoth. What do you mean, stopped Fallout 3? Twitch.tv/Square Enix. Now they're running a choke. Yeah, this is the same damn trailer they've shown several times. Nothing interesting. Oh, I have Sprint finally. Thank God. Okay, back to being a freelancer. Nah. I've already answered that to one. I don't feel like rehashing it. Oh yeah, sorry, Ruma. Yes, I know that, Mighty Mage. That's a little bit further into the game than I'm in right now. I need a grind spot now, not in 15 hours of gameplay. Besides, let's be honest, the basement of Wall's Castle is only good for gil and job points. It's not good for XP. FT Shopes, I'm going to assume you don't know that a new episode went live today, episode 30. So, a new episode went live today, episode 30. Yes, I think 12 will come out on Steam. Favorite collection of summons in an FF? I'm gonna go with 9 for my favorite summons. What game coming out this year am I most excited for? I have no idea. There's a lot of games coming out this year. RP of New Vegas. Haven't decided yet, Zoan. I originally said flat out no, because I'd already done something for New Vegas. It's the same reason I said no to Skyrim. It is, however, worth noting that I don't have anything else to roleplay in, with one exception. So, you know, possibilities. Spirit Engine, or excuse me, Spirit of Engine. I don't know what that is, off the top of my head. Let's see, Mankind Divided's coming out this year. I'm excited for that. If Dragon Quest Builders comes out on the PC, I'm excited for that. If 2.8 comes out on the PC, I'm excited to do that. If Skywind is actually good, I'm excited for that. And yes, I would, Spirit of Memory. If Skywind is actually good, that is a huge, huge requirement, and something that I frankly don't think is going to be true, to be as blunt as I can. I hope it's going to be true, but I don't think it's going to be. Undertale RP, no. No, I am not Illyria. In fact, I'm very sad about that fact. They should have just released it, seemed. I don't know why they didn't. They should have just released the demo. I'm a little astonished they didn't. It was the perfect time to do it. And now you can try out the Zelda demo. I mean, they've already locked it down, so you're just limited to the plateau. Hell, I'd be streaming that right now. Screw Forge off Fiesta. Here's Zelda. Isn't it awesome? World of Warcraft RP? Nope. My restrictions on what I do in RP series are actually quite stringent. Quite strict, if you will. Very, 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 very few games fit those qualifications. Last tent. What level am I? Level 10. Let's make one more go at this and hope for some RNG, shall we? I have decided after some thought I will not be doing an RP of Fallout 4. It just doesn't fit properly. What Square thing? You mean the one that's going live right now? Because I think I just answered you. It's okay, they haven't shown anything worth a damn. It's two people talking. And then all of a sudden, FF15 trailer, and then it's two people talking again. And now I think they're doing a Mankind Divided thing. Oh, no, hang on. We're back to FF15 footage. The qualification for an RP game is it has to meet all of the qualifications for an RP game. I can go ahead and tell you the list of games that qualify right now. It probably will sound familiar. Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, that's it. There's a couple others that sort of barely kind of qualify that I hesitate to put on the list. For example, Dragon Age Origins, Neverwinter Nights 2. Hey look, it's the same footage that's totally some guy live playing and not a pre-recording. Did you son of a... I can't. Oh yeah, so in response to what Lex just said, let's talk about the fact that we already have a proper remake of FF5. I'm being 100% serious, by the way. No trolling, no nothing. And in fact, it even makes perfect sense if you think about it just for a minute. What other games do we know out there that are JRPG classic style, with characters running around, trying to interact with elements against a major enemy who is trying to absorb all of reality into the void? I mean, any other game hit those qualifications? Job system, extensive multi-class situation, great gameplay mechanics, kinda lacking in the story department, but some serious pathos when it matters. Seriously, ring a bell? Yeah, we've already had FF5 proper remake. It's called Bravely Default. For those of you not aware, the team that was working on the FF4... I spit on it forever, Zoan Joker. The team that was working on the FF4 proper remake was already doing prep work to start working on FF5, FF6, and FF7. Very, very little prep work for 7. Very little for 6, but they'd already really started working on FF5. Like, this is something we know. We also know that pretty soon after that, 4 Heroes of Light, you twat face. Oh well. Very soon after that, 4 Heroes of Light came out, and then they came out with Bravely Default. And I'm sorry, Bravely Default is a remake of FF5 in every way. I don't even mean that as an insult at all. It is a remake of FF5. I can't even imagine how you could disagree with this statement. Anyways, Open Morrowind, I've not seen anything that makes me enthused about it so far, so here's my legitimate answer. Skywind looks a little more promising. Nevertheless, Open Morrowind is something I'll keep a vague eye on. I am actually, in all honesty, I am legitimately... Oh, hey! The poll just finished. Legitimately, both. I will say this: both Skywind and Open Morrowind both look to me like projects that aren't going to succeed. I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but how long have they been working on these, and how little has been done? You know, it's one of the reasons I keep hoping for a proper remake of the games, done by actual game developers. Because, yeah. Yeah, it's been 2 hours since I killed the Carl boss. I personally think FF5 is better than Bravely Default, but that's mostly because Bravely Default is better in gameplay and worse in story. It's still being pushed in several countries, so on. There was a lot of pushback against it here in the States, and then the election kind of took the foray. So a lot of people are trying to paperclip bills like that while the election's going on. A King's what? A King's Tale, Final Fantasy... what? Oh, 15, okay, so... Oh yeah, let's go to the text now that the poll's done. So, what was the results? $22-0. Okay, so 22 people want to see me keep playing FF5. So you got it. More FF5 action. Hey, bro. That's all I wanted to talk about Bravely Default, really. It is an FF5 remake. You can't convince me otherwise. It fits all the bills properly. And it's just... yeah. It's ridiculous. Now, Bravely Default 2, which I have not played all the way through yet, is, well, how do I put this nicely? It's apparently better in every way than Bravely Default 1. I've only played the demo myself, but from people whose opinions I trust, they say they have fixed the problems of Bravely Default 1 in Bravely Default 2. What, you mean like you summon Alexander and he changes the damage type of all attacks in the area to a certain type or something like that? No, I have not, Spirit of Memory. Like I said, I just kind of stopped being interested after a while. If they ever push out a finished product, I'll look at it. If they ever actually do anything, I'll look at it. I'm just kind of tired of trying to follow a project that's been going on for years and years and years. I've stopped being enthusiastic. I've started being jaded. It's not the first time. FF15. So I suppose I'll look at Nintendo, because Square Enix isn't showcasing anything right now. Like, at all. Come on, give me an account. There we go. Yeah, the Square Enix stream is just two guys talking, and then something stupid, and then two guys talking. Let's see what's going on at Nintendo right now. What do you mean, Scenes? If you don't mind elaborating. And let me fix this so I can watch this and chat and the game all at the same time. Okay, Nintendo is a bunch of guys talking, so nothing interesting so far. You ever play Dragon Age Origins, Samurai? Just ask permission, Frozen. Someone permit Frozen so he can explain why Peter Hines is a frickin' idiot. Yeah, the pause mode is basically just pause, okay, so I need to go after that guy, and that goes over there. Okay, go! And yeah, you can switch targets and stuff. And did I seriously just get petrified? Did I seriously just get petrified? Oh my god. Really? Really, game? So, this is interesting. I just read Peter Hines' interview there. Yeah, he's petrified. Oh, thank God I have some needles. Thank God. So let me explain why Peter Hines is a moron, okay? Peter Hines is a moron because what he just basically said is, in order to do a remaster of Morrowind, we would have to do a proper remake of Morrowind. And that's just not happening. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That would take so much time and effort and money. Yeah, that's what a proper remake is. It is a significant investment to really redo a game for a modern audience so that new people can enjoy it, and people who loved the original can re-enjoy it. That's what a proper remake is, you freaking moron! Yeah, we all know Peter Hines is a frickin' idiot. He's been an idiot for a long time. Gotcha scene. Okay. Yeah, no kidding, 12 minutes. This is kind of ridiculous. No, you did. You definitely answered a scene, and I see where you're going with that. I personally kind of like the pick-your-own stuff thing, but I totally get the point and indeed benefit of a class system. In fact, I actually like class systems when properly implemented. I like class systems as much as I like choose-your-own, build your own class, non-class systems. So, of course, nobody likes Morrowind. I mean, why would anybody like Morrowind? Now let's go ahead and leave Reality Zone for just a second. And let's go ahead and talk about the problems with doing a proper remake. I already gave you the biggest problem with a proper remake. If you're doing a proper remake, you are basically making a new game. Some aspects of development are cut out, but most of those are not the time-consuming or the particularly expensive aspects. You are basically making a new game, you just happen to already have a script, okay? That is the biggest downside of making a proper remake, and that is a huge financial risk when it comes to the money people. I'll freely admit all these factoids, okay? That is a huge, huge risk for them to actually do, because it takes real time, effort, investment, money. And that is, as was pointed out in chat, that is going to happen in place of development on a new game, like in Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever. Now, the other thing to be kept in mind is there are no guarantees when it comes to a proper remake. Okay, that's kind of a lie. Like I said, we're in reality land here. So, here's the thing. Proper remakes, historically speaking, sell like hotcakes. Proper remakes. Not remasters, not ports, not any of the other things. A proper remake, historically speaking, every major proper remake I can think of off the top of my head, and I just ran through the list in my head, has sold very well. And it's sold very well for the obvious reasons. First of all, and let's just go ahead and say this flat out, there is nostalgia value involved. There are people who are going to buy it because they loved, let's use Morrowind as an example, because they loved Morrowind. There are people who are going to buy it because Morrowind was freaking awesome. There are people who are going to buy it because they keep hearing about how Morrowind is awesome and they want to try it. There are people who are going to play it because they played Oblivion and they played Skyrim and they never got to try Morrowind and they want to try it out. There are people who are going to try it who have never actually tried a Elder Scrolls game before, and they're trying to try out this new thing, and this one's been talked up by people. There are people who are going to buy it because they want to bash it, and they want to show how much worse it is than the original. There are people who are going to buy it because they want to tear it apart and mod it and try to do new things with it. If you don't understand what I'm trying to get across here, there is a large markets actually, for proper remakes, and this is true for any well-beloved game. Okay. Yeah, Takoida gave the same reaction. There is a... So proper remakes do sell. But we do have to at least be honest about the fact that a proper remake comes at the expense of a new game. And if we do too much in the realm of proper remakes, we are going to hamper development of new IPs or of new games, and that is the reality of it. So for some people say, why are you so in favor of proper remakes all the time, Arsh? It's because they are an underserved market. It's because we need more of them. I don't think we should have too many proper remakes, okay? I think one of the okay, hang on. This is a real topic. I think one of the problems is that too many people associate proper remake with remaster or port. That's one of the reasons I am so careful with that term. That's one of the reasons I call that proper remake. It's its own term over here in the corner, totally separate from all this other crap. There have been reboots, there have been remasters, there have been reports, there have been regular ports, there have been bad ports, there have been pushing out on different... there have been all sorts of other things here that are not proper remakes, okay? And these things happen all the freaking time, because these over here are cheap and easy. These things are relatively quick and simple and take very little development time, and they can just toss it out and get a few extra bucks. And even though they're not going to make a lot of money on them in terms of return, they cost so little to make that it's an easy market. You with me? So people are sick of this crap over here. And so people keep pushing back against proper remakes over there because they associate proper remakes with this garbage. Now, let me go ahead and make this point clear. I'm in favor of good ports. I like the fact that we have I like the fact that we have FF5 on the PC. As much as I crap on this version of the game, to be completely blunt, this is still a good thing because it adds more people who can play this game. It is expanding markets. It's making it more accessible to more people who can play more of the games. It's one of the biggest complaints I had about Kingdom Hearts, which is slowly being solved. It's one of the biggest complaints I had about the old FFs, which is slowly being solved by their inclusion in new things. I am in favor of good ports, do not mistake me. But we are seeing so many reboots, so many recyclings, so many remasters, so many HD versions. There's like 5 or 6 different terms they use, and it all means the same goddamn thing. It's a port. And people are sick of it. I'm sick of it. All of us are sick of it because people are pushing it in the expense of new IPs, new games, and proper remakes. Proper remakes over there are awesome. I am having a hard time thinking of any proper remake that's come out that has not been awesome. And as I said, everyone I just thought of in my head, and I was actually thinking about this, was good. Every single one of them sold well and was good. And I don't regret any of them whatsoever. Anyways, what was I doing? I've really lost my train of thought there. Oh, that was the overall point I was going for. So, the overall point I'm trying to make is that the reason I push so hard for proper remakes is because there are so few of them. I am trying very, very hard to get more of those out there because we have too few, and part of the reason we have too few is because they keep doing the cheap and easy answer, which is the aforementioned ports and remasters and all the other garbage that is super easy to do. So this is kind of irritating as well. I need to buy multiple potions. So let me just go ahead and hold down the button to buy all sorts of potions. Maybe hit left and right, like it usually works, no? Up and down, no? No, this is how you buy multiple potions. Note it doesn't cap. Isn't this version great? So anyhow. Did I miss any questions while I was ranting about how people are stupid? Because Peter Hines is an idiot. Basically, this was ported for the phones, and so several design choices were made that make more sense on a phone than on a controller or a PC. And then they didn't change anything when they pushed this to the PC. They just literally just ripped the phone and dumped it on the PC, and then they didn't support it. So it's got bugs, it's got bad design choices, and I said I wouldn't bring up the art, so I won't. Proper remakes. FF4DS. First one that comes to mind. Mario Kart DS. Or not Mario Kart, excuse me, Mario 64 DS. Second one that comes to mind. FF3 DS. FF2 GBA. But of course, the mother of all proper remakes, and the first time I really started using that term proper remake, is actually Final Fantasy Origins on the PS1. Where they took Final Fantasy I, a game that's not actually that great, if we're being honest with ourselves, on the NES, and turned it into a fairly decent game. I talked about that in my rumination on FF1. Oh my god. Hang on. Just a second. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, Pokemon does proper remakes too. Basically, Gen 1... the other thing I used to hold up as a great example was FF4DS and the Gen 3 remakes of Gen 1. Fire Red and Leaf Green. DuckTales Remastered. Which is funny, because DuckTales Remastered is actually a remake. A proper remake. Hey Daffodils. The term true remake is basically a perfect remake. It's as high as it gets. There's a reason I don't use that term all that often. A proper remake is easier to define, but a true remake... Well, excuse me, is harder to define. But a true remake is basically perfect. Let's see if we can actually kill these guys this time. Resident Evil 1, that's another excellent example of a proper remake. Oh, that's terrifying, Velvetrix. Mega Man Powered Up is debatable, but I will agree it's definitely the type of a proper remake. It's definitely in that direction. So is Mega Man X Maverick Hunter, while we're on the subject. So is Final Fantasy Tactics on the PSP, so is Tactics Ogre on the PSP. Other proper remakes. Oh, who knows? Spirit of Memory. Fingers crossed, 12 Maniac. After all, we do know that 7 might resurge some interest in Resident Evil. By the way, even though I'll probably never play it, let me just say I am actually enthused about Resident Evil 7. Well, we won't know if it's a true remake until it's done, because whether it's true or proper has to do with quality. Mario All-Stars, that's much more debatable. I have a hard time saying Mario All-Stars is flat out a proper remake. Same with the Ninja Gaidens they pushed out onto the SNES. I would argue, and this is not true, but I would argue Stellaris is a proper remake of Master of Orion 2. It isn't. When I say I would argue, I would say that's like... I'm just speaking of the quality of the game. That's how it feels to me. But that's not actually true. It is not a proper remake of that. And a proper remake is different from a new... reimagining. A reimagining is a very different thing. For example, anybody here... my favorite example of a reimagining is actually a television show, Battlestar Galactica. When they reimagined that for the more recent show, that was not a proper remake of the old show, because it just lacked so much of the old show. It was not a remake of the show, it was a new show with the ideas of the old, hence a reimagining. Not that I am against reimaginings, by the way. I actually like the idea of reimaginings as long as they are well done. Greatest games on the Wii. I never actually played those myself, so I can't speak if those are proper or not. I'm gonna have to go with someone else's expertise on that. Okay. Hey, Magasa. You're dead. Told you. DMC. The new DMC would be a reimagining, yes. That's a... Fan games are fan games. They're their own category of fan games. I haven't played those pro, so I can't actually speak to those. Now, here's one I don't know enough about to speak to directly. But the recent Ratchet & Clank that came out on the PS4, I guess, whether that qualifies as a proper remake or not is heavily debatable. But from everything I've seen, that would qualify as a proper remake. It's basically the first 3, I want to say, games kind of shoved into one and polished to a shiny sheen. So, that's debatable, though, I'll freely admit. You could argue that's a reboot. Although, of course, a reboot is another word that's been tainted because so many people do proper... Oh! She did the arm waggle. Or what do we call it? The arm flail. The arm flail. A reimagining and a reboot are not the same. No, absolutely not. A reimagining is a good thing, and a reboot is not necessarily a good thing. A reimagining is pretty much automatically a positive term, okay? Because a reimagining is when you take an idea and you go in a new direction with it. You try to do something different with it while still retaining some of the core elements that are from the original. That's a reimagining. The Lord of the Rings movies are, in many ways, a reimagining of the books, for an example. By contrast, a reboot is just resetting back to the default. You're not trying to do something new, you're just trying to do the original, but a little bit different. So that's what a reboot is. God of War 4, we don't know yet, 12Maniac. I actually had a few discussions about this on my Tumblr. A few people... We can't agree yet whether or not God of War 4 is a sequel or a reimagining. So... Neither, really, Kamek. It's a sequel. Just in a weird way. Everyone, please join me in not piano flexing. Instead, we will piano arm flail! But due to the time nature of J.J. Abrams' new Star Trek, I don't think it can really be qualified as anything other than just a sequel. So, that's what I call that. Not in a long time, Zawan. And as for the new ones, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. God, the piano flail is terrible. But same continuity, Kamek. Same setting. The setting has not changed, whether it's a new universe, new timeline, new dimension. It doesn't matter if it's the same setting. That is the Spock from the original canon. Those are the event. The setting up until the divergence is the same. All the events of Enterprise, for example, all happened the same way that they originally did. Hey, Deutsch, we knew you kept that around. We were talking about that earlier. Hello, boss. I'm gonna hate in a bit. Spit. Anyways, so no, the Abrams thing is just a sequel. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. That's just what it is. And if it had been allowed, why can't I not? Oh, they're just too expensive. Except I don't want axes anyways. It is not, you're right, it's not the same universe. But that's why I use that term setting so particularly. There's a reason I've tried to use that term so many times when it comes to things. Because setting is much, much better a descriptor than world, or universe, or galaxy, or timeline. Setting describes everything within the same cohesive canon. Wait, there's a demo up? Hang on, hang on. Hang on, there might be a demo up for Pokemon Go. Well, there does not appear to be a demo for me. I am sad. Oh well. I'm not sure, 12 Maniac. Whoops, we're on the wrong auto. Auto is just last command in this one. Also known as extremely stupid and easy to program auto battle. Unlike, say, Bravely Default 2, which has an extremely smart auto battle system. Bravely Default 2 has an option to repeat your last action. It also has an option to save presets of, I want you to do these exact actions as auto battles, which is really cool. No, I don't think that qualifies either, Pro. Because it still looks like, it's still, from everything we understand so far, it's still the same setting, it's still the same continuity, it's still a continuation of the series, which would make it a classic straight-up sequel. I can't argue that, 12 Maniac, because the only way I could argue that is by arguing definitions. In other words, I would say that 12 goes beyond auto battle and actually has proper scripts, kind of like Dragon Age Origins. Right, I'm fighting in the wrong space, aren't I? I need to go over here. Just realized. See you around, Zawon. Okay. Ooh. That's a tough one, Lex. That's a really tough one. I'm not, Velvetrix. Just no. Although I might be able to level up here. Oh, jeez. First battle. I'm already hesitant about fighting up here. In the very first battle, I get a back attack. Come on. If I had to pick between a proper 3D prequel to FF5 or a proper remake of FF5, see, that's really, really difficult for me to choose. My automatic inclination is towards both, of course, but I know that's not feasible. I'd go with the prequel. As much as I love FF5 and would love a proper remake of this game, to be completely blunt, the GBA version is not bad, and I can enjoy the GBA version extensively. And I have Bravely Default. I would much rather see the new content of the prequel, if given a choice on the matter. So, that would be my choice. Prequel game. Yeah, you'd better be pumped, Shadow, or we're all gonna destroy you. Just a heads up. Because this whip is awesome! Hang on, that reminds me of something. Yeah, okay. Guess what, guys? The best news is it's frickin' June. If you don't know what I mean by that, that means that at the absolute bare minimum, we're talking about 6.5 months until the new Zelda comes out. Think about that for a moment. So here's a really horrible thought for you guys. Or not horrible, sorry, just interesting thought. So we've talked, especially going through the FF stuff, as to... Yeah, Twitch's PM system is terrible, Bandit, if you're not aware. So, yeah, prequels, right? We've talked several times, and I have actually given my opinion that I think most of the FFs shouldn't have a sequel. I think that it would be doing a disservice to them. I think FF10 was one of the very few FFs that actually should have had a sequel. But prequels was a much different issue. So if you had to look at the FF series, which would be the one you would most want a prequel for? Yeah, I know, Shadow. I kind of wish it wasn't. I'm already really behind on work. Yeah, I thought they did Karmaku, but the tooltips in this version are terrible. It doesn't say anything about back row or anything. I'm gonna go ahead and assume you're correct. And my own memory is correct, too. Now, I hate to point this out, but FF7 already has 2 prequels. FF4. What would you do with an FF4 prequel? Not that I'm saying it's a bad idea, I'm just curious what you do with it. 8. Same question. What would you do with an FF8 prequel? 9. What would you do with an FF9 prequel? Like, most of the ones that are very definitively, you know, here's exactly what the prequel would be. You know, FF5, for example, is such a no-brainer when it comes to a prequel. We already have the previous adventures of the Warriors of Dawn, so duh, right? Well, I can't use Azura, but I could use the healing staff. I'll have to think about that. Yeah, FF10. FF10 and FF5, I think, are the biggest no-brainers when it comes to prequels. It's just duh. It's right there on the plate. You don't even have to think about it. See, I'm not sure. I love Laguna. He's, in fact, my favorite character from FF8. I'm not sure what I'd think of a full Laguna game, especially since we already see a fairly large amount of his backstory. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're talking about the katana. I don't know why I was thinking the summon. I'm stupid. I think I'll actually go ahead and do that. You're right. Let's go ahead and make that work. 12? 12. Oops, wrong area. Yeah, I was going to say, there's several things you could do with 12. It would probably be a focus on the Arcadia in general. Oh, there it is. Under the entrance over here somewhere. FF10 prequel, just, it's already there. Followed Jacked and Orin and Braska. Boom, done. ActRaiser. Well, there's a game I haven't played in forever. See, honestly, as much as I consider FF6 my favorite game of all time, and I've said this before, I don't think you should do a sequel to FF6. I think a prequel to FF6 would work if you set it during the War of the Magi. That's how an FF6 prequel would work. Yeah, that's the direction I was thinking too, Dakota. I would actually really like it if FF12 prequel actually took more time in Rosaria than it did everywhere else. Like, you were agents working for Arcadia in Rosaria, you know, that kind of a thing. Oh yeah, by the way, Ferris is Lena's sister. Spoiler alert. Oh, Draco and Maria. Oh, you already said no to that. See, I disagree with that, Thanatos. A proper prequel takes a situation you already know and doesn't care about the end point. It allows you to focus more on the journey. For example, and I know this is a bad example, but when the Star Wars prequels were announced, people had the same general reaction. Well, we know he's going to turn into Darth Vader, but we all want to see the journey of Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader. Granted, that's not what we got, but the point remaining that the idea was still there. Even if you know the end of the story, that does not make the story itself disinteresting, at least in my opinion. It just means you have to approach it from a different angle. It's no longer about, oh gosh, what's going to happen at the end? There's no big plot twist. It's just about how it came to be. I would argue Crisis Core was another example. Yeah, thank you, Falviters. I would argue Crisis Core is another example. You know how Crisis Core is going to end. We know exactly what happened to Zack. We know from the very beginning Zack's dead. We know exactly what his fate is. And yet that focus on the journey was very enjoyable, at least for me. So, and we don't speak of Genesis on my channel. Ever. That's true, Pro. We did. I'll give you that point. We actually saw Anakin and his descent into the dark side in the Clone Wars series. I'm sorry, Samurai. But yeah, I enjoyed Crisis Core. There's quite a few aspects of the game I liked. It was a great insight into Sephiroth's character. I liked Zack. Zack was very likable. Definite positives there. I actually enjoyed the combat and the materia system in general. I don't remember where the healing staff is. It's been so long since I've looted this place. I usually don't bother to get it because most of my runs don't involve it. Like the Chimera run doesn't involve it at all. Maybe I should add it. Oh wow, 12 Maniac. That's horrifying. It's okay. He'll make it out. He's the main character. Ugh. Yeah, Zack is. I agree. Zack is just a generally lovable, lighthearted, nice guy. Again, kind of like Laguna. So, woo, as they say. Thank you guys. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've looted this place. I was just going to start going through from room to room. Oh no, this means I won't be able to auto-battle, but I might have a chance against Gula now. I answered that earlier, Shadow. In summary, I don't think it's a console in its own right. Wait, that's not the healing staff. I've been lied to. Although I do want to give you that. God, it almost doubles her attack power. Holy crap. I raised my eyebrow at you, Velvetrix. So Before Crisis had some interesting ideas in it, but I can't deny it was kind of bad. And I liked Advent Children. I've given my reasons for liking Advent Children, even though, ironically, the biggest way it failed for me was the story. Did I already do this? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Nevertheless, I do still enjoy Advent Children. So Advent Children and Crisis Core I like. Before Crisis, I can enjoy if I just, read about it, basically. we don't talk about Dirge of Cerberus. Ever. Just, no. No, don't bring it up. Don't do it. I mean, I even do have positive things to say about Dirge of Cerberus, but all of those things revolve around a single character. Hojo. Make fun if you will, but Hojo was awesome in Dirge of Cerberus. Like, the voice actor was perfect, the dialogue was perfect, he was just as ridiculous and stupid and thinking he's more important than he is as he should have been. It was spot on, and I loved it. The voice actor just nailed it, too. Worst game I have ever played? Ever, ever, ever? Ever, 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 ever? Man, I don't know. All the worst games just kind of piled together. But I gotta be honest, the worst game I have ever played, and yes, I've actually played it, is E.T. on the Atari. So I did that, and I did that. Right. Damn it, Shadow. I'm going the wrong way. Where am I? Hang on, did Dirge have anything of value other than Hojo? Let me think about that for a second. Superman 64 is better than... Oh, crap, I didn't mean to start the cutscene. Whatever. Than E.T. Worst RPG I've ever played. Seventh Saga. I'm serious. I've got one other good thing about Dirge of Cerberus, okay? You ready for this? There's one scene that most of you have probably forgotten. When it's like, everyone's gotten together, and yeah, we're gonna use our power together to save the world, and it's this really dumb, stupid scene, and Vince is just like... I forget what he says, but he has, like, the perfect line. He's basically just... Yeah, okay. That one line was cool. So there you go. Two good things. Two good things in Dirge of Cerberus. Hojo and that one line. No, Quest 64 was better than 7th Saga. Secret of the Stars was better than 7th Saga. Although Secret of the Stars was my second pick for worst RPG. And Quest 64 is pretty far down there, too. Also, that was one of the worst meteor animations I've ever seen in my life. I know I said I wouldn't say much more about the art, but that was terrible. By the way, I'm still waiting for one of you to donate for me to do a full playthrough of Ride to Hell. Because I know one of you bastards is just that sadistic to make me do it. Yeah, she's hitting a bit harder. Yes, the potato attack! French fry special! I ain't saying nothing, Samurai. Several people have threatened to do it. But I have freely admitted that I will do a full playthrough of the game if it is put up someone ponies up for it. I'll have this funeral dirge playing the whole game. So, by the way, I imagine most of you guys don't actually pay attention to my website, because I'm still transitioning to more people paying attention to the website. So I'm starting to do, like, little tidbits and news announcements, and really trying to keep the schedule up to date. Yes, you do, Gnarlix. Don't lie to me. However, what was I gonna shoot? So I've got a new event that I kind of want to start doing this year. It's still kind of penciled in, if you know what I mean. I'm not 100% sold on it. Hang on just a second. So there are approximately several hundred people in the Nintendo chat who are copying, pasting the exact same message. I know this is just a Twitch chat message, but Smash Bros. Melee is my favorite game of all time. I know it goes against your principles, but please do a remake of Smash Bros. Melee. And there are hundreds upon hundreds of new names pasting the exact same message over and over and over and over. And it's ridiculous. Just wanted to share that little piece of joy there. Anyway, sorry. What the hell was I talking about? Oh! I don't remember what the hell was I talking about. Right! The website! I've got a new event that's penciled in that I'd kind of like to start doing as sort of an annual tradition. On August 26th, I'd like to start doing a Kefka race thing. I myself, of course, would be streaming it, but the idea would be that other people would be encouraged to go ahead and pop in as well and do Kefka races with me and beat my time horribly because I haven't practiced it at all. So, you know. Get hoit. So, what the heck is this game that they're showcasing right now? They're showing us some 3DS game where you build an oasis. What is this? Animal Crossing Oasis Edition? Basically, yeah, Samurai. Oh, this is a new IP, apparently. Probably just the Kefka race. Yes, Illyria, and I suggest you get good at it, because I'm going to be terrible at it, and then you can lord it over me that you beat me in my own game. This looks kind of cool. This looks like kind of a mix between, like, Zelda and Fantasy Life. Ever Oasis is the name of it on the 3DS. Yeah, my sister actually yelled at me recently. I say yelled. She was like, you know, harsh, except that's not the word she used. Harsh, Lord. It's great that you love your show, but you are putting literally 100% of your time in the show. You need to have time for things that you enjoy doing as well. And she started talking about, you know, when was the last time I wrote a song? Well, it's been years at this point. When was the last time I really started drawing? When was the last time I sat down and really wrote one of my stories? When was the last time I really got into speedrunning? When was the last time, you know... There are several things that I actually enjoy a lot as hobbies that I haven't been doing, and she says I need to try and refocus a little bit more on those. And so... I'm hopeful, once I get caught up with the features a little bit more, I will actually be able to pursue things other than the show. Also, as an aside, me talking about it being like Fantasy Life is not a negative. I love Fantasy Life. 4 frogs alight, yo. So someone asked a question, I'm sorry, and I missed it in the middle of that. He understands the true nature of fear, Shurya. I should probably go just heal that. Fantasy Life Live. Seriously, Fantasy Life is a good game. I highly recommend it. 3DS. Pick it up. Play it. Enjoy it. Learn it. Live it. Love it. So... it has multiplayer, too. I might pick that up. Fantasy Life had pseudo-multiplayer. It was more like you could interact with friends via quests and stuff like that. And, like, there was a co-op multiplayer mode, which was buggy as crap, which I barely got to use properly. But was still fun when I got it working. Damn it, 3DS. There's already, like, 3 long-term games on you that I haven't had a chance to play. Guys, Oasis is the FF5 proper remake. No, I'm kidding. That'd be funny though, wouldn't it? What's my level? Let's go gear up a bit, see how we're doing. Oop, oop. Nothing to my knowledge, Lex. And I have been very interested in Dragon Quest VII, let me tell you what. Okay. Neither has Dragon Quest VIII, on a related note. It looks kind of cool. Just watching the stream in the background there. Yes, I'm streaming while watching a stream. Oh, there's the healing staff. Not sure when I got that. As an aside, I think the DS Dragon Quest remakes are proper remakes. That's another good bevel of proper remakes I should have mentioned before. 4, 5, and 6 are all really good proper remakes. Like, really, really good proper remakes. I would argue a couple of them are actually true remakes. It's some good stuff. So, definitely recommend those on the DS. I was actually about to say this gives me some Secret of Mana vibes in a good way. Psalm, of course, being one of my lovely, lovely games. What am I ignoring you, Myron? What'd you ask? What'd you ask? Okay, so we're actually geared up. So we're going to go ahead and try Gula now. Let's see how bad of an idea this is showing. If I opened a restaurant, I would serve all sushi, all the time. And Canada Dry, seltzer water. If you want to, Shadow, go for it. All Canadians are welcome. Move. Oh, here we go. So, bets on what my water job's gonna be? Keep in mind it can be any job, including Berserker. What kind of muffins would you like, sir? We have many different kinds. Damn it, stop saying Berserker. Yes, I would serve the son of a submariner. It would have a lot of stuff on it. It would be awesome. It would be like the best sandwich you've ever had. Comes with a side of there's sand on my boots. Ah, the bouncer. I won't say no. I have a lot of other stuff scheduled, so I'm disinclined to right now. But I have no reason to say I'm not interested in it. So there's the base building mechanic. It looks like. Oh God, dancer. I already have one Earth job. I mean, my God. Cannoneer, Necromancer. Okay, I supposedly have it turned off, so I shouldn't be able to get Necromancer, Cannoneer, or, what the hells, I don't even remember the other ones off the top of my head. Okay, so I'm about to get my ass handed to me, but that's okay. I've got a slight plan for this situation. I'm a little amazed my first one wasn't Berserker. But then again, Berserker risk goes up the longer time goes on. For those of you not aware... Whoops, I'm an idiot. For those of you not aware, the way Berserker risk works is basically the more people donate in, the higher chance of... Basically, the more Berserkers are given out to people who have accepted Berserker risk. So the later in the donation drive you're doing it, the higher your chance of being a Berserker. Gladiator, Oracle, that's the other one. Gladiator, Oracle, Cannoneer, Necromancer. That's not worth my time. No, Samurai. Besides, I'm pretty sure the Berserker risk right now is already through the roof. Alright, wish me luck. I hate this fight. It's like my least favorite fight in the whole game. I always have more trouble on this guy than anyone else. Wait, did I? I did. Okay, fantastic. Let's see how much we healed for. That's a pretty good heal. A dancer and 3 berserkers? You gotta be kidding me. Actually, that's not a bad combo. Now that I think about it. I was gonna say, I imagine he had to grind his balls off. Out of curiosity, which of the various leveling locations did he decide to use? Because I've heard a lot of argument about the best leveling spot in FF5. I stand by mine, but I'm curious what he used. Yes, Rickard, but he doesn't have his siege artillery, sorry. I don't know, Gnarlex. Actually, I know exactly what he was thinking, but yeah. It's nothing good. In the rift? Wow. Also, yeah, I'm sure Sandworm was an absolute nightmare. Oh god. Oh god, I have to fight Sandworm. With freelancers, maybe. Alright, let's go ahead and figure out what we got, guys. This is it. You've already placed your bets. I got a thing right here. Let's figure out what I got. If you would, please. Berserker. Berserker. Gilgabot's actual tweet was, "You can use the water jar Berserker." Ha ha. Alright. Give me a moment. Let me pull up lens sprites here. Oh my god. Just... There we go. Berserker. Len. I think we'll do Victory Sprite. I think it's a little less distracting. What do you guys think? We might even change the other one. So let's get Samurai here. Oh my god, I have to go up against the Sandworm with the Berserker! No! No! Why, God? Why? Oh, hang on. Okay, so let's replace this with Victory. There we go. Even though this is not a Victory, there's Lena. Hang on, hang on. Definitely not a Victory. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Fix that. Ah! She's everywhere! There we go. Okay, so there's our two classes so far. Oh, you're right. I might have to actually go up against the Sandworm with two Berserkers. So I'll have two Berserkers and two Freelancers, if that actually ends up happening. Oh my god. Yeah, my win was Samurai. I'm doing a Chaos run with Berserker Risk, character limited. So... That is an awesome picture of Syx. Yeah, basically I'm screwed is what the Chaos Run means. It's okay, I kind of lean towards melee-heavy parties anyways. And I'll have Zenonage. Or whatever they call it, Gillian, I forget what I actually call it in this version. But like I said, my chances of getting Berserkers from now on are actually pretty high. Because I can get any job with an increasing chance to get Berserkers. And I can get multiple jobs. I can repeat jobs, too. There's basically no limits. Now let's see how this effect looks in the phone version you're showing. Oh, goody, Illyria. That is a chance, you're right. So, given that I have a Berserker and a Samurai, I would really like to get some kind of magic, but not a Blue Mage, because if I don't have a Beastmaster, it's kind of useless. I would like to get a Chemist. That would be pretty nice. Chemist would balance this out pretty nicely. I wouldn't say no to a White Mage. I wouldn't say no to a Time Mage, too. It's okay, this is basically when Sildra actually dies for real. It's just the next time we encounter her ghost. Kinda, sorta. Yeah, chemist, get into my party, dude. Come on, help me out. What time is it? Jeez. Ah, poor soldier. No, why do you make me hear it again? I know she's dead. I know she's dead. You bastard. Hey, Lana. Guess who you are. I don't even have an axe right now. Chemist, I'd have to look up stuff to really make use of it, I'll admit that. I don't know all the chemist stuff off the top of my head. Summoner I do, but, as pointed out, much less broken. So some of you are like, why is Berserker so terrible? Well, the most obvious reason is you don't have control over the Berserker. They just attack. There's a second reason, though, and it's much worse. Axes have like a 70%, I want to say, hit chance. In other words, it's low. Like, real low. Berserkers themselves do not innately have a low hit chance. It's the axes. That's one of the reasons why I said I don't want an axe earlier, because basically I'm just trading higher power for greater mischance, right? Well, that would work, Samurai, if I could multi-class. 80%, thank you. I knew it was... It's lower than it should be. I swear it's closer to like 40% based on my own experience on the matter. Seriously, it's terrible how often it frickin' misses for me. It's one of the reasons I hate the Rune Axe. Yeah, no multi-classing in this run. So... The only exception I made was I went ahead and raised Thief on Lena, so I could have the sprint function. That's the only exception, and that's only all I did it for was so that she would have sprint. Why it randomly just turns off the sprint? You notice that? Oh, Berserker axes are much worse. I thought about getting that Karmaku. In fact, I'm sincerely debating getting that. You know what? I think I'm going to go for it. I think I'm going to go for the Elven Mantle. It's some RNG to get it, but that thing is super useful, and I'm going up against several bosses I'm scared of with a freaking Berserker and 3 Freelancers. So, or 2 Freelancers. So I think I'll go ahead and try and risk getting the Mantle. Wish me luck. Put the Mantle on Lena. When I was doing, not last year's, but the year before's 4-job Fiesta, I was doing actually a pretty rough one. And yeah, Elven Mantle was literally the only way I survived several fights. 'Cause, yeah. Summoners, okay, so I'm assuming you know where all the summons are. Really, there's not a lot of complexity to utilizing a summoner, to be completely blunt. You get the good summons, and you spam them. But you need Golem. You need Golem. It is pretty much the only reason why Summoner is super useful, in my opinion. Everything else they have, you know, is nice, but Golem is where it's at. Whoops, I'm going the wrong freaking way. Hey, Nero's us. Also, Wing Commander, woo! Village of Fraternity, woo! I'm going... Where the hell? Oh, here it is. Okay, wish me luck. Remember, I have a Berserker in my party. Got it! Okay, immediately gonna equip that. Who do I put it on? I guess I'll put it on Bards. I don't have a lot of other options, really. Okay, now the other hard part. Getting out. Run! Run! Okay. Run! Keep running. It's probably the only time that lower encounter rate is going to really work in my favor. Thank you, Mantle. Put it on the right character for that one attack. Okay. One character's dead. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, that was actually nowhere near as bad as it usually is for me. God, yeah, so the GBA version, I usually have, like, 6 or 7 encounters as I'm going. I mean, you guys saw me do this last year. I was like, okay, start over, because I died. Just death. All the death. Really, Lex? You can, Karmaku? I mean, I know you can do that in, you know, the SNES version. Okay. I do like the minimap. I know I haven't said many positive things about this version of the game, so let me just go ahead and praise this minimap. I'm going the wrong way. I do like it. It's cool. That's a good point. I need to switch the healing staff. I guess Galuf could become my new healer. And I guess that's my only option, really. So... Or no, that's exactly what I want. Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff either, Chemic. As I've said many times. Alright, so who here is going to predict a very long grind session on the Wild Max? Anyone? Just general predictions? Oh, who made this? Square made this! Whoops! I shouldn't have him attack on auto. That's a good question, actually, Larry. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm predicting that too. I'm thinking about cutting off the recording for this section and just being like, alright, so... time to grind. Anything to eat right now? I gotta think about that. I mean, I could cook, but that's gonna take time. I don't have time right now. Let me think about that. I know I'm gonna need a decent chunk of money, and the wild Nax are pretty good for money. Yeah, I think we'll cut off the recording. So those of you on YouTube, I'll see you whenever the next video goes live. Whee!